Testing. Alrighty, we're live, guys. Day 29, playoffs, day 1. Right, Seth?
Day one, yep. It's
Yeah.
pretty exciting here how we have it laid out. We're going to be starting off with Code B, and we're actually going to crown our Code B champion tonight.
Yeah. One of these guys is also going to move into matchup with Code A, right?
Yeah, they're going to earn, well, one of them is going to move on to play against Fenrir on our second match, and the winner of that will earn the right to play Cyan in the Code A bracket. So, but we'll have that later, a little bit later this month. But for tonight, we're gonna start off with Kitty Cat Gamer in Champone. We haven't seen them in a while because they've wrapped up their division a while ago. But we're gonna start off with our rookie Champone and a very much improved Kitty Cat Gamer for a best of 5 playoff game.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about this actually.
Yeah. We have ET phone home as our caster, our FSL caster, Mr. FSL himself. How you doing, ET?
Yes, hello, Mr. FSL here. Let me tell you, I got no AC and there's a heat advisory. So if I disconnect, I probably fainted.
That's
Okay.
right. He's in the hot state of Texas. So,
Yes.
all right. Well, we have backups. We have redundancy. Me and
Yeah.
Seth can cast this if needed.
But hopefully, Cyan's side with Kitty Cat Gamer holds up because I know they're going through a stormy weather in their
That's
region
true.
right now.
Yeah.
So that one we cannot substitute for, but we'll make do if we can get this done tonight, hopefully. And but yeah, I mean, the good thing is we can show the graphic on our prize pool here. Both these players are guaranteed $10
Oh
already.
yeah, that's true. We had some
Okay.
thanks to our generous Patreon folks, we did have a change in the prize pool. So
Yeah.
let me see if I
Yep.
can
So
load
both
that
of
up.
them guaranteed $10, but the winner of this game will be guaranteed $20 with potentially to earn more if they win the championship. So
Yeah, there you
that's
go. You
pretty
guys can
cool.
see that right there.
Yep. And yeah, and they already completed their vetoes. We have our best of 5, so they only get to veto one map. As you guys can see there, 2,000 atmospheres vetoed right off the bat in Hardwire by Kitty Cat Gamer. So
Oh yeah,
yeah, we're gonna
looking
be
at the map, just maybe she has a special strategy. We'll find out, right?
yeah, we'll
But
find out. But
before we do that, I just also want to shout out our Patreons. We have a new Patreons to Blue, so we'll get that. And as mentioned, because of these Patreons, we did have this prize pool increase as noticed here, right?
yep.
As shown here. So, what do you
So
think of
yeah.
that, ET? Makes you want to play, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, if there's an Archon League, me and my mom are going to join that. So we'll
There
see
you
how
go.
that goes. But hopefully we can make it happen.
Right.
Yep, we'll discuss that in this off season with our competitions committee.
Yes, sir.
And
And we can actually invite the ET to that competition committee now. He's a veteran here.
Yeah.
So
definitely, yeah, we'll have that retrospective and talk about what we can do to improve and such. But let's focus on our game tonight. Let's bring in our players. Let's see if we can chat with them.
yeah, I think they're ready.
I match and I play if
Oh, and
There we go. There we
real
go.
quick,
So
just real quick. Thanks for those on the chat asking about the Patreon information. So our information on that. The good news there is we have it right there. Stu Blue's been added. He was wondering. It's on patreon.com/SciStorm. So thanks to these people for supporting the league.
Yep.
And
Thanks
okay,
again.
so let's talk to the players. Let's bring them in here so we do
Yeah,
hear them.
they're here. Joining us
There.
now, we have both Champone and Kitty Cat Gamer. Good evening, good morning. Well, I think it's just good afternoon for some of us. Champone and Kitty Cat, we haven't seen you both in a while, but let's start with Champone, our rookie. actually our number 2 seed. Champone, how are you, and are you excited for your playoff game tonight?
Yeah.
Yes, that sounds like a resounding I'm excited. Now, the last time you faced Kitty Cat Gamer in regular season, I think you fell 2-1. Did you learn anything from that match? Did you review that match one more time? And do you have any strats that would address that
Don't tell us.
shortfall?
Don't
Don't
tell us
tell
the
us,
strats.
but-
It's a yes or no question.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. All right. I'm excited to see that strat. ET, KJ, do you guys have any questions here for Champone?
Champone, you had some nice games during the season. There were some frustrating ones that you lost that you watch and you're like, oh, I'm actually fine, right? And so that part of the game, how do you feel from that old Champone to the new one now? Do you feel like you're more mentally prepared for battle?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Nice.
Okay. ET, I think you can ask a little bit more question that's not going to be a yes or no answer here.
Oh, let's see. Man, I don't know. There's not a whole lot to ask without going too in depth on the stress. So I guess the map picks, you actually banned probably the most popular map to play on in the pool, 2,000 atmospheres. Was that just because it's such a big map? What was
Yeah.
kind of your
I don't like
reasoning
it. I don't like
Oh.
it that it's big because, well, most of my strategies are close
there?
to the
Okay.
enemy base. So yeah.
Alrighty. Makes sense.
Well, last question for me, Champone. Did you have any help? Did anybody practice with you and a practice partner to prepare you for tonight?
Instability helped me a bit.
Oh, nice.
Ability.
You guys have the
Well,
same race, so yeah.
Well, Kitty Cat Gamer is a Zerg player, so
So,
but for helping him in terms of what to do about Protoss, that's pretty cool. All right. So, any final word, Champone, before we move on?
GLHF.
Yeah, let's
good
have,
luck
all
and
right.
fun. So let's talk to Kitty
I would-
Cat. Kitty Cat, how you feeling? How much practice have you had?
I haven't practiced that much, but I've been practicing some games.
All right. So, in terms of this past season, right, I would rank both you and Stu Blue as really improved players.
Yeah, most improved.
How?
for sure.
Yeah, the most improved, both of you, right there, neck to neck. How much have you improved, or how happy are you in terms of your improvement?
I'm happy about it.
Okay.
Did you get any help from Cyan, Stu Blue, or anybody to prepare, or you just did this by yourself?
I kind of did it by myself. I got some help from my dad.
Nice. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Excited to see what you come up with.
All right. ET, any final questions here before we get started?
I had one, and it's completely slipped my mind, unfortunately. But I'm definitely looking forward to the games. You've improved a lot, Kitty Cat. It's a little unfortunate. I wish we had as many players in the Code B as we do in the other two divisions, because we don't get to see all as much. But I'm looking forward to these games.
Nice.
All right, looking forward to it. Keep in mind, this is a best of 5, so you have to win 3 games. Good luck and have fun. We'll talk to you guys after the match.
That's right. It's best of
Right.
best of 5. It's a lot tougher,
I'm
huh?
losing. Proving anyway, get out there and ladder.
He's ready.
All right.
We're gonna mute
Unfortunately,
them
we're
so
gonna have
they
to
can
depend on
focus.
Newton,
Yeah, we're gonna focus
but
on.
I would have liked to hear more of that though. But
Oh,
all right,
and-
we're gonna move on. So, you know what? They're both excited. You see, Champone confident and ready to go, right? And let's see how much nerves is gonna play a part here, since this is playoffs. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, these guys are always nervous. I think for every game. So I know it's the playoffs, but I think they have the same level of nervousness.
All right, before we throw it to ET, predictions, KJ.
I'd say 2-1 Kitty Cat Gamer.
That's a best of 5 though.
Oh yeah. All right. Well then that changes things. She was gonna win 2, and then Champone comes back, wins 2, so 3-2 Champone.
3-2 Champone. All right. I will take 3-1 Champone. ET.
I think I'm gonna have to go 3-2 Chiampone as well.
There you
All
go.
right. All right, take away, ET. Looking forward to this. I'm just gonna sit back, grab popcorn, and watch.
Alrighty.
You are watching FSL Season 5.
All right, we're loading in. It is the bottom left-hand side. We've got our blue Protoss player. He is
Chin Home.
And his opponent in the upper right, the purple Protoss player. She is
Kitty Cat Gamer.
ET. This is
Yes.
best of 5, man. How many strategies can they be ready with?
I know, it's going to be a little interesting. I think Chiampone has a lot of varied strategies. It's funny, it's almost the thing I wish he'd do a little bit less at this level. At this level, it's like, you kind of just want him to do the same thing and kind of hammer in a build. But he does have a lot of different stuff he'll do, and so that'll benefit him. But yeah, the
This
Overlord
guy.
does scout here. He's dropping a gateway at home, though, so I'm not sure what he had planned with that. Did he maybe think that was the natural? Okay, he's going in for a scout now.
Yeah, maybe.
But we do have a pool first.
It's a psych me out. Hey, I'm gonna void ray cheese you, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, and actually going to cancel the spawning pool. I don't know about that one.
The
Need to
nerves,
get
man.
an expansion or something going up quick. Oh, I think maybe worried about cannons possibly hitting her pool, so she drops it in the
Yeah,
back.
that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, it may work out. I mean, in this case, obviously, we have all-seeing vision, so we know he's not cannoning, so it's a little unfortunate. But I think, obviously, if he was cannon rushing, that would have been a very big help for her there, so nothing too bad. She is scouting out in her nat. She sees the probe leave, so she should feel okay now. We do have a cybernetic score coming down, but I'd like to see an expansion out of her soon. She's really starting to float a lot of money pretty quickly here.
Yeah, she got thrown off by that probe. And this is what happens in the newer leagues, right? One little thing, you throw them off, and they really gotta get back to what their original plan was.
Right, exactly. It's not just about executing your own build, but if you can throw off your opponent's build just a little bit, it goes a long way. He did see the early pool, and no expansion, so he's playing it very safe, which I do like. And based on the fact that she still is not taking an expansion, she might be going for aggression, in which case these 2 batteries, at least one of which can be overcharged, are going to be very helpful there. I'm curious to see what his tech is. It looks like it's going to be a Stargate, because he's waiting to drop it right now, typing that probe all over the place, and indeed it is a Stargate. And yeah, if she goes for a Ling Flood and he has a Void Ray or an Oracle or really anything out, it's going to be very, very difficult for her to get much damage done. Is now taking an expansion. And I guess for me, the reason I went 3-2 Chiampone is he actually, his first match was against Kitty Cat Gamer. And around that time, he was about Silver 3 MMR. But then because of sibling rivalries, he practiced like a ton and went up like 500 MMR to like Gold 3. So the fact that he nearly beat her and now is almost an entire league better than that. But Kitty Cat Gamer has also improved, so it's a little bit hard to tell, but he definitely jumped up in skill a whole lot all of a sudden. So that's kind of why I'm going with 3-2. We'll see. Kitty Cat Gamer had some really strong macro moves, but in this game 1, she's already been thrown off her groove a little bit, and that makes it really hard to catch up on those macro moves.
So I have a theory on this. I think, the way she macros, sometimes it overcomes a lot of these tactical mistakes, but I'm watching her. She's caring a lot about these links. She used to just throw things away, right? But this time, look, she's like, all right, I'm not gonna win this. I'm gonna run away. That's like a maturity that you didn't see too much, right?
That's true. And you know what? They're kind of both doing that, and I think it's because of the exact same reason. And it's not their opponent now. They both, I think, have been mainly practicing to try and beat Fenrir. And just throwing your units at him is like the worst thing you can possibly do.
Yes.
And so, because both these players really would just throw massive maxed out armies at Fenrir's defenses and lose them all, I think that's caused them both to evolve in a similar fashion to where they're a lot more careful with their offense. We're definitely seeing that out of Kitty Cat Gamer initially. I did see in chat Instability was talking about, yes, she did help him, but she actually coached him in PvT for fighting Fenrir, not PvZ. So we'll see how he does. Is making Void Rays, which are still a good unit, but definitely not quite as powerful as they were a month or two ago before the patch, and still no expansion coming down for him is a little bit worrisome, I'd say.
But you know, if she keeps going, Kitty Cat doesn't seem to have enough anti-air. Although she's making a third queen, second and third, so something.
Yes, queens are very strong against Void Rays. I do worry a little bit in that they're also relatively hard to micro against Void Rays. And the one thing Qian Pone always has is he's very good with his unit control generally, sometimes to a fault, and that he pays a little bit too much attention to them. But if you pull back a Void Ray whenever it's low HP and you keep shooting, a lot of times they're going to end up killing those queens, especially if the Zerg player just targets a Void Ray and doesn't realize it's getting pulled back, and then the queens kind of just chase it and aren't attacking. But at the moment, there's only one queen on the low ground. Is she going to pull more down? And actually, Qian Pone waiting a little bit. Uh-oh. ... I think he may have accidentally attacked his own Void Ray there, as some of the shields are gone on it. I think that may be what the ellipses is from. Yeah, the first queen, and with those Zealots cleaning up the Zerglings, Zealots obviously rip through queens. So the two queens in the natural have fallen. She's making a Roach Warren, and yeah, I think Kitty Cat Gamer just got thrown off really hard by that probe in the beginning. I'll have to ask Qian Pone if that probe was maliciously intended, or if it literally was just he went to scout and it happened to go to a weird spot, and that kind of freaked Kitty Cat Gamer out a little bit. Or maybe he was indeed planning on doing something and just pulled out of it, which if that's the case, I'd say very good discipline out of him to, okay, I've just been scouted, I got to do something else. But anyways, he has cleaned up the natural base. Kitty Cat Gamer is going to try and counterattack. I think there's a Void Ray sitting in the middle of the map, but yeah, won't be able to defend the main base super easily. And in classic Florencio-esque style, he does not have Warp Gate, so defending these Lings may actually be kind of difficult.
She forgot that, you gotta keep making queens. So she forgot about the whole anti-air aspect of this. In fact, she can go in, but she's not going in yet.
Yeah, she's just trying to depower those shield batteries, I think. But Void Rays don't really care about whether or not they have shield batteries when they're fighting Zerglings.
It's almost like a base trade situation.
Yeah, it's looking a bit like a base trade, but Void Rays just annihilate buildings once you have that prismatic alignment going on them. And indeed, the hatchery is getting killed. And once this one Void Ray pops out, it will eventually clean these Lings up. But it will take it a while. Has killed the natural base. Obviously, both players have plenty of money to re-expand if needed. But Qian Pone might not have drones, or probes, I should say, left after the Lings if he doesn't run them right now.
Yeah.
But I think there's not going to really be a way, even with all the drones that she managed to get out, 15, there's just not going to be a way to get enough anti-air to deal with, 4, soon to be 5 Void Rays. So she doesn't manage to completely eliminate the buildings here, which I think these Lings aren't quite going to be able to do. I think Qian Pone, as long as he just goes around the map with his Void Rays, there really isn't going to be much for Kitty Cat Gamer to do. That being said, there's a lot more Lings coming in, and he's not sent his other Void Rays back.
Yeah, it's a little bit distracted by the leftover buildings.
Is finally sending it back, but there's 2 Void Rays here now. I just don't think there's enough DPS out of these Lings, especially, got to keep in mind, not upgraded. So it takes them quite a lot longer. A lot of times you see those 3/3 Adrenal Lings, just, a building disappears in half a second. But that's not what we're dealing with here. They don't have any melee upgrades. They don't have that Adrenal Glands. And indeed, every single... Well, I guess I should say not every single. One Zergling is left somewhere on the map. There it is. Once that goes down, it's just drones. And it's going to take her so long to get up any sort of tech. And there indeed goes the last Zergling.
Has
5
Void Rays. Wow.
He's not scared one bit. He's going to send every unit out across the map. He actually does have 1 probe. Oh, it's trapped. It's trapped behind that pylon. So Kitty Cat Gamer actually was not able to kill that probe there. So in theory, he can even kill his own pylon or gateway and re-expand. But for the moment, yeah, he's got a lot of money here. Even he has 3 Void Rays queued up and still has 1,200 minerals in the bank. And the spawning pool just now starting. Qian Pone, though, oh yeah, you can see he's rallied these, shift-clicked them through all the bases, so they're just going to go one by one. He's even splitting some Void Rays off to attack other bases. Well, now attacking just the larva, so scratch that thought for just a second. Kitty Cat Gamer is already running away with a drone, but again, it takes 71, I want to say, seconds to build a hatchery. In 1 minute and 10 seconds, you don't have any units to keep his Void Rays busy. It's just not going to be enough time to get up a hatchery and then get up a spawning pool and then get up what you need, which is like...
she could
8
make
queens
Lings.
at this point.
She makes Lings and goes to attack the base. And
That would be
goes
good,
Right now,
and
that's the way to win.
Yep, she is doing that. She's lost another about 10 drones at the moment. but is making 6 slings. But Chi and Pone should see these pop and send some units home. At least I would think. We'll see.
Yeah, there's one more Void Ray, or 3 more Void Rays trying to get out, but supply blocked, of course.
Yeah, I think he might have. Well, I guess having the probe blocked in there doesn't hurt too much. Yeah, he's trying to move it out of there, but cannot.
Yeah.
But it looks like he is going to come home. And if these 6 slings get trapped and killed, then, I mean, it's just the same thing again, but this time you only have 6 drones instead of 15. And she depowers this but doesn't kill the probe. That might actually help him more than it hurts him. I think she will target the probe down. I imagine she has a shift clicked. Indeed she does. So she will kill the probe. So Chi and Pone has to just eliminate her. There's no macro opportunities for him here, but she's going to lose every single ling again. And the hatchery isn't even done this time. She bought a lot more time with the lings last time than she did this time around, and he's on the prowl. We do see him even splitting Void Rays off. Should see the creep here. And yeah, this time I just don't think there's going to be a way for a spawning pool to make it up in time. Yep, indeed he comes over here.
What a game. What a first game, guys.
Yeah, pretty wild initially. I see in chat that I'm echoing, by the way. I'm not sure if that's the case, but apparently I am. Anyways, I think once this hatchery goes down, it will be indeed GG.
Well, look at that. She's smiling as if she won. So she's probably laughing about the game.
Yeah, I feel like that's not a game you feel too bad about. It's just kind of crazy. A little bit of insanity going on there. And, yeah, like I said, Queens in theory counter Void Rays, but it is, I mean, the amount of times I've even lost a hatchery or a lair because I'm out of position for what feels like half a second against Void Rays. It's hard to micro them against them, so
yeah,
definitely a difficult situation there.
We're going to head into map number 2, Blackburn, the fun one. If you think the first one was crazy, well, wait till we get to Blackburn, guys. What are we going to get out of that map?
Yeah, and I'm a little surprised that this was Kitty Cat Gamer's pick and not Chi and Pone's, because he's the one who's known for, you know, the really aggressive, kind of weird plays. Not so much Kitty Cat Gamer, and Blackburn really kind of lends itself to that. You've got that like jump up spot where you can also place in like a Stargate or something like that at the main base of the Zerg player. So we'll see what the players opt for here, but it is definitely a little interesting to see Kitty Cat Gamer choosing that one first.
You are watching FSL Season 5.
All right, we're here in Blackburn LE. In the bottom right-hand side, we have our blue Protoss player. He's up 1-0. He is.
Chin Pole.
And his opponent, the purple Zerg. She is.
Kitty Cat Gamer.
And it's funny, Chi and Pone really kind of reminds me a little bit of Rainer from like 2019. Got the wild hair over his face. He's bopping to the music and stuff while he's playing. Moving quite a bit. It's pretty funny. It looks like he is going to do something nefarious this time around, dropping that pylon directly in the third base. So this might have been what he was planning to do in the previous game. We'll have to see in the interview. I'm going to have to ask him about that. Yeah, so proxying something. Does have a gateway at home, though, and even dropping a third pylon at home to be able to wall off with. But now going in for a scout, and we'll see that it is going to be a pool first out of Kitty Cat Gamer. I'm guessing in her prep for this, she and Saihan kind of decided she should just do that every game against Chi and Pone, and I really don't mind it. He is obviously a pretty aggressive player, so should help out there. At the same time, though, Chi and Pone is scouting for that each game, which I feel like is not something he would have done in previous seasons as much, or in previous match, I should say.
That's true.
So it does know it's coming. I imagine we'll see a Zealot at home and a Cyber Core shortly here. He's a little bit low on money.
Indeed.
Did get 3 pylons very, very quickly. 17
right.
out of 39 supply. So that's going to be an extra 200 minerals. Yeah, for quite a while. And I think this seems almost like a Stargate positioning, I want to say, on the pylon. But at the same time, is this probe coming home, or is that just a different probe? Okay, he sent out a second probe to go to the proxy so that she'd see this one going home, I think, and be potentially less suspicious. Gases.
Here come the links.
Just not coming down. Yeah, and we do have those 6 links coming across the map. Just now starting to mine gas. He's really wanting to make those shield batteries you can see on the high ground there, I think. One Zealot does lose to 6 links, but he is getting a second Zealot, which should be able to handle those pretty well. They're just coming out across. Separate core is now finished up. Could see a shield battery any moment now, but none dropping just yet. I don't think he'll need a shield battery against 6 lings. The 2 Zealots should be able to clean those up pretty handily, especially if there's no micro. Which it appears there is not going to be. Should get a Zealot, Kitty Cat Gamer, and Dichi does. Will run back with 2 links. So 4 links for Zealot is pretty much an even trade there. And Chiampone even still making several shield batteries. Losing the extra 2 links, trying to get a scout, but that was that Zealot barely got that last Zergling to deny the scout there. But there is an Overlord in the main base, so it does kind of see what's going on anyways. 3 shield batteries is a lot if you're planning on being aggressive on the other side of the map. We still don't see anything out of that proxy.
He's scared on this side, right? You know, remember when we used to play from the beginning? We just overdid the defense, right? Because we didn't know any better. We're just more scared. We don't want to die too early.
Exactly. Unfortunately, now the Overlord has seen this pylon. She's making a Roach Warren and some Zerglings. Chiampone pretty much instantly adjusting, though, does drop the Stargate at home. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty similar build to what we saw in Game 1. We do have a lot of money floating for Kitty Cat Gamer. I'd like to see more consistent queen production this game.
Yeah, exactly. She needs a lot of queens, and that's
I think so. Both for those injects and being able to deal with whatever comes out of the Stargate more easily, which I imagine will be Void Rays again, but we'll see. Could be something else. Will lose that pylon, but he's got 4 at home, so he is A-okay. Still has 20 supply available. And starting to go into those Stalkers as well. Should be able to kill that Overlord in the main base, which will be nice. May actually end up supply blocking Kitty Cat Gamer with that Stalker if he does opt to kill the Overlord. Looks like he's rallied right on it, so should kill it. Although, yeah, I don't think it'll be able to make it to safety back in that corner. And first Void Ray is on the way out. Kitty Cat Gamer, she did have this Overlord in here this whole time, but did not see the Stargate.
Oh, that's right.
So actually unaware of it because it was just a little bit out of range of that Overlord. And I'd say an intentional move there out of Chiampone to place it where he placed it out of view there. So very nice by him. And the first Void Ray is popping. She's just looking for more proxies at this point. And this is the thing with the player like Chiampone is I think she's so worried after seeing that first proxy about the follow-up that her macro is really slipping. The big thing with Kitty Cat Gamer we saw in the previous series was she was pretty good about getting Overlords on time, injecting a fair amount. These last 2 games, I think because she is so worried about that aggressive potential from Chiampone, she was supply blocked on 36 for a long time there, had to make 4 Overlords. And is going into Roach Ravager, just like she did in previous games, but not a ton of Queens out yet, only 3. They do have a lot of energy, though, for Transfuses, so I'd like to see Chiampone retreat, and indeed he does.
I think Chiampone is not expanding as fast as he used to, right?
Yeah, it definitely feels a little bit slower. I think maybe that's a result of the early pools out of Kitty Cat Gamer. Obviously not something we saw in the previous series between them, so maybe an adjustment to that, but I think he definitely should still be taking it a little bit quicker than he is.
Yeah, she forgot Zergling's speed, so she's definitely a little off. She did mention she hasn't practiced too much, so...
Yeah, I think it really comes down to just that unknown factor with Chiampone, where he's a little bit like a, Code A version of Hero, where it's like, don't just do anything in a lot of ways. Like with Hero blocking the add-ons of Terrans with pylons and things like that. It's like, that's not a good move, but he'll do it, and if you aren't ready for it, it could throw you off, do damage, and might cause you to lose the game. And Chiampone's that way in a lot of ways as well, and it causes his opponents to have to take steps they aren't normally used to taking, so that can really throw them off. We do have 3 Void Rays in here now, but with 4 Queens, 2 of which do have Transfuse Energy. Should be able to defend this pretty handedly. He does even get a Ravager, which is an expensive unit to lose, and 2 Overlords here. This is going to be quite painful for her. Does hit the Void Ray with a Bile, so that's nice. Does get a lot of damage on that one Void Ray. And still no expansion out for Qian Pone.
Oh, I don't like that at all. He's been very inefficient, right? He's just being super safe. But
yeah, I think he's being a bit too safe. I mean, those shield batteries in the main base are definitely overkill at this point, I think. 3 more going down in the back. I guess he's maybe worried about Mutalisks or something like that.
yeah.
Maybe a Nidus Worm in the back of your base. But he is still making a lot of Void Rays, and that means Kitty Cat Gamer will have to have something with her Roaches as she tries to move across the map with them. And Queens, obviously, cannot transfuse off creep anymore. And her creep spread up to now has been non-existent because she does need those Queens in the main base to defend. Good Biles once again out of Kitty Cat Gamer, forcing those Void Rays back. That one is very low at this point.
She's pretty good with the Biles, actually.
Yeah, very well done indeed. And I think even Target fired the low health Void Ray with her Queens, I believe, because it was out of shields by the time that Bile hit it. And none of the other ones had any shield damage at that point. Is looking for the spawning pool. Would have liked to see him prismatically align. Be able to dodge the first and second Biles. And, runs into almost the last Bile. I think not moving the Queens over here is a little...
Forgotten about the Queen.
Yeah, definitely needs that over here, as he's now even able to target some of the Ravagers down.
There's the Queen.
And funnily enough, in a high micro situation like this, at this level of play, having the expansion isn't necessarily that much of a benefit, because neither of you is spending your money anyways. They both have big banks. And at this level, when you don't have the larva and the infrastructure to use that bank, it doesn't really matter if you have it that much.
Yes.
So in a lot of ways, it's like, if either of them would spend their bank, they'd have 3 times the other supply, but neither of them is able to do that. And Qian Pone actually even going to be able to kill the natural now, so killing the drones is Kitty Cat Gamer.
I think it's a misclick. Oh, she
think
thinks
that
it's
has
a
to
base
be.
trade situation again. It's not. She has her
Yeah.
base here still. So,
Yeah, and she has enough Queens to defend it. Maybe going to try and take the gold base?
yeah, but I think, this is where I think when Cyan comes in there, Cyan's just gonna tell her, hey, just keep making Queens, go Hydras, and stay put. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I think if she just, continued injecting... Oh, and the slow zone is so painful for this. He's not even prismatically aligning because he doesn't have it still after killing that natural base, but still killing a ton of those Roaches. And yeah, it just kind of comes down to, if you just kept injecting and you go into Hydras, make another gas or 2, she'd have enough to have like 20 or 30 Hydralisks at this point, in which case these Void Rays just aren't going to cut it. As is, they are indeed cutting it. We've got 21 Roaches and 5 Ravagers falling thus far to only 2 Probes, a Zealot, and a Pylon.
Yeah.
So very, very poor trading there out of Kitty Cat Gamer. And now there's so few Roaches left after the Void Rays that even the Stalker and Zealot with the 6 shield batteries in the main base will be able to defend.
She's definitely misreading this game completely, right? She didn't need to evacuate at all. She was totally fine. So I think she's just not used to dealing with air units, and that's an adjustment that we expect her to make in the next game, where Cyan may say, hey, just make Hydras, or keep making Queens, don't worry about it, stay put, and keep macroing like you used to.
Yeah, I think so. As long as she just goes Roach Hydra, I think she'll be in a pretty good spot in the rest of the series if she can make that adjustment. It'll just really come down to whether or not she does make that adjustment. It's something, I think, some more Roaches across the map, maybe going through the middle there.
Well,
a
she
few more
doesn't
Roaches,
think she
but
can defend. That's the thing. She has no assessment on how strong these units are. That's what's going on here. She doesn't realize she can actually defend with Spores and Queens. And so she's given up way too early on the base.
Now her lair is gone. Like I said, even a Zealot and a Stalker will be able to do a pretty good job of defending against that number of Roaches with the amount of shield batteries he has in his main base. And obviously, probably will have another Void Ray coming out soon as well. Unfortunately, they're just sitting there in the natural base, not even trying to move up and fight.
Yep.
Qian Pone will be able to clean up the main base, and yeah, from here, I think it's just dealing with Void Rays is the issue here.
So I'm gonna say something about this. Remember, guys, this is Code B. She's used to a certain way of playing, where you make things and you deal with things. And then when you get something that she's not used to, like air, it throws them off, and they just don't have a good read of the game. So this is where, if and when Cyan does coach in between games, it has to just keep it simple, right? Because, if you remember how you were in the game, right, and you watch the actions that you did when you were new, all of this makes sense because you just don't understand that. Oh, I had this. Oh, I can defend by doing this, right? So that's part of the learning curve of SC2.
Yeah, absolutely. And at this level, and I think even she probably had a perception of what she was going to run into from Chinpon's other games and other series. He's pretty consistently either gone like proxy gateways or DTs. And so air, I don't think was a consideration as like something he might go for. And so a lot of her prep was most likely against either DTs or really, really early attacks.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Chinpon did switch it up. Well done by him. This is why this is done a lot like the GSL, where you have a lot of time to prep for your next opponent. And I mean, for them, obviously, because their divisions ended so early, they've, I think, known about this series for about 2 months. So there's a lot of time. I mean,
yes.
In 2 months, you can become a completely different player with prep. And that's really what Chinpon has done here with this mass void ray strategy. So, and I will say, I think in terms of like units that you can just get continual value with at this level in particular, if you're babysitting them like Chinpon does, void rays are about as good as it gets. With like DTs and zealot drops like he was doing before, a lot of times babysitting those, there's only so much damage you can get with them. But void rays, you can be constantly flying around to this base and that base and sniping the spawning pool like you did here and things like that. So a good adjustment out of him. And I think Kitty Cat Gamer prepping for a Chinpon that no longer exists, unfortunately.
Yes, indeed. And for her, if you give her way too many instructions about spores and queens and this and that, it gets way too hard, for a game that's going on now, a series that's happening right now. So I think, if you were the coach, what would you tell Kitty Cat Gamer, knowing that she has to understand and make a game change at her level, like now, like on the next game, like you only have like 3 minutes.
I think it's just, I think the pool first is good. It's forced Chinpon to kind of sit back. So from there, what you'd want to do is, I think you just make queens. I don't think you worry about spores. I think you just constantly make queens off of 2 bases and then go into hydras eventually. SUG is called. Try and make it as simple as possible. And just keep your injects up, things like that.
Yep, and then eventually go to hydras. Because hydras, you just keep making them. It's now up to Chinpon to adjust, right? We saw that happen between. I remember one of the Code B games where so-and-so would adjust, and then so-and-so on the next game would change the way they play, and then they go. So that's part of SC2 at the level that we're comfortable and we know and take for granted. But at the Code B level, guys, it's very different.
It's very different, yeah. And like at the end of the day, especially at our level more, it's adjusting to what they're doing is like, oh, I haven't played against SkyToss in months, but I have played like 100 games against SkyToss. Yeah. For Kitty Cat Gamer, it's quite possible that that's really the first time she's faced that specific strategy ever. So you don't even have like a memory you can recall back on like how to deal with it. And so you basically have to on the fly learn how to deal with that. And it's not something that anyone above Diamond or Masters has had to do in a long time. It's very rare to run into a strategy that just completely, I've never seen this. And for me, the rare times it happens, I usually lose. The other day, it's rare to have a recent example of this kind of thing, but I had someone do a proxy 2-gate forge, but they actually walled my natural off with it, so I couldn't like get past it to get on top of it.
Funny. Yep.
And I wound up losing really hard because I just never faced it before. And then about a week later, I faced it 1 or 2 more times, and I actually wound up beating the guys because I was able to kind of theory craft and think about what to do over that period of time. But it's even at our level, if you see something that's just completely new and you don't really know what you're supposed to do there, you can get absolutely annihilated as well. So anyways, we're loading in.
All right, last chance.
All right, we do have in the upper left-hand corner, he's up 2-0 with those void rays. It is
Chinpon.
And his opponent in the bottom right, the Zerg. She is
Kitty Cat Gamer.
all right. So we do have that quick probe across once again. But this time he's actually going to wall his natural ramp. I like that, because a lot of the reason that he really kind of needed those triple batteries is because he's not walling his natural ramp. Like, a Zealot in a wall against Zerglings is about 10 times stronger than a Zealot not in a wall against Zerglings. So I like that adjustment there. I think that'll help him. Although, the person that really needs help is here in the bottom right, Kitty Cat Gamer. And it looks like he's actually switching up. His build looks very different from prior. He'd go like 2 quick pylons. He'd take his gas after his cyber core, whereas this time it's 1 pylon, 1 gateway, then the gas pretty quickly. And does scout once again that pool, and he sees what he wants to see, and immediately that probe's headed back home.
Okay, well, let's see the adjustments in this game. Because Kitty Cat just needs to get a game where she's comfortable. Same thing with Shenpong. I mean, Shenpong took a while to expand, right?
Very true. Yeah, it's taken him quite a while to expand. I mean, in that last game, I don't think he expanded at any point. So I wonder if that's just he's just like, no, I'm winning on 1 base with Void Rays, or if he just completely forgot, or was maybe too worried because of the Roach Ravager and the early Lings to even do it. But yeah, I mean, he didn't even... I can't remember. I think game 1 he did start to take one, and then he got killed by the Ling counterattack. But game 2 he didn't even try. This time around we do have a little bit quicker of a gas for Kitty Cat Gamer, but definitely still needs to expand, hopefully soon. That'll be big in terms of how well she can handle what's coming her way. And we're going to see the tech now out of Chien-Pon. It's still going to be a Stargate.
If it ain't broke.
Yeah, and I think basically what he's doing is my guess is, okay, my proxy got scouted in game 1 and game 2, so I'm just going to skip the whole proxy side of things. I'm just going to go at home. And what that's going to do is it's because he proxied in the first 2 games, Kitty Cat Gamer still did the exact same pool first build. But this time around, Chien-Pon is not going to be slowed down really at all. He's got his Stargate way quicker than he did in the previous games. He has his Cyber Core and his gas is up way faster, so he's going to have more gas to make those Voiders with. He's already able to start +1 air weapons. So it's going to be Kitty Cat Gamer. She's going to be in that same sort of, she's been slowed down. She's not playing her regular build against the Chien-Pon, whose build is much more accelerated macro-wise. I mean, I think at this point in the game, last game, he had like 15 to 17 probes as opposed to 20. His Void Ray is already halfway done, whereas the Stargate would have been starting about now. He's just a whole lot faster. Granted, he only has 1 Zealot, but he does have 2 shield batteries there. And that's another thing. By the time Kitty Cat Gamer's Lings made it across the map in the previous games, his batteries weren't even done, whereas now they're completely finished up. She's going to go in, try and get the probes. He does pull some probes, so they're fighting in a fairly choked up position, which isn't too bad. 3 probes do go down, so that's nice for Kitty Cat Gamer, but she still hasn't taken an expansion. She's going into a lair already. So I think going to try and rush up the Hydras, perhaps, but with no second gas, it's going to be really hard to make any amount of meaningful Hydralisks. I suppose it could also be a Nidus Swarm, but with that Ling speed starting up, she's not going to have enough gas to drop it anytime soon as well.
Well, she's finally expanding, and she does need that second gas, so that's really the key here.
Yeah, we'll see exactly what she's planning with the lair. A lot faster than the previous games. But again, like I said, Chien-Pon, I mean, he has 2 Void Rays already. That's really quick. His build looks a lot cleaner this time around. And I think we see that not only in game 1 was Kitty Cat Gamer getting thrown off, but I think Chien-Pon it was more difficult to see with his build. But I think he was thrown off in game 1 as well, and game 2 by his proxy being scouted. Meanwhile, the Lings are going into the main base, and the Zealots are not pulling up to help. They will be able to get decent trades here, but not if they're just A-moving. This is really good for Kitty Cat Gamer here, who has killed a lot of probes, sends him right back down to the starting probe count. So very nice out of Kitty Cat Gamer there. That's a good run by, and she's just going to keep doing it. Looks like 16 more Lings on the way.
And that's not even without speed. No speed for her. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, and she's going to have speed now. She's making that Hydralisk den, but still only on 1 gas, and that does worry me. If she thinks that, because it seems like she's almost going, I don't need queens, I'm making Hydras. But if she doesn't have queens, and she's only making 1 gas worth of Hydralisk, she's just not going to have enough anti-air to keep parity with the Void Rays. Meanwhile, the Lings are coming across the map. Chien-Pon, I mean, he sort of walled, but then he really didn't finish it. He's trying to hold position his zealots. I think he's held position them in a proper enough way that those links can't. Nope, never mind.
Oh, no.
There's space on the left, so he will be able to make it. The
And-
Lings will be able to make it, and the probes have to run. The Voiders coming all the way home. This is nice for Kitty Cat Gamer once again. Probes are at the shield batteries now, so they will be safe, but it's only 8 probes, and he hasn't been reprobing very well at all. He kind of got up to 1 base saturation and then was like, okay, no more probes. Don't care if I lose any, which is obviously a mistake here for Chiampone. She's trying to get on these probes, but they're near her shield battery now, so she'll trade out all these Lings instead. Still a very nice position for Kitty Cat Gamer at this point, but if Chiampone really goes across the map at any point, he has 4 Void Rays with +1, and 4 Hydralisks is just not enough to beat that. Even with 1 queen there, and that's assuming the queen does make it into the fight.
Well, you know, he's got a little bit of PTSD from all the Ling run bys. I think he's going to stay at home for a little bit, man.
Yeah, I think he's just added 1 zealot after each run by and tried to hold position, so eventually he'll have enough zealots to actually have a wall off, and then he can move out. But that may take him a little while here. I think we saw she did add a Ravager. I kind of like the move, but at the same time, a Ravager's almost... No, it is just, it's 2 Hydras worth of resources. So if the Biles hit, that may be worth it, but if not, that's just 2 fewer Hydras you have to fight. You also really want to have that
distraction.
range upgrade. Yeah, forcing him to move.
Controlling it, you know, you want to keep things simple. And so if you have a a Ravager there, then you might want to do the Bile rather than controlling your Hydras. You know, I'm a big fan of just make lots of stuff. And use
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. And that's also, I mean, now she's not going to have range for her Hydras, which is a big deal against Void Rays. It makes it a lot harder for them to kite you and just run away whenever one of them is low health.
Yeah.
So not having that will hurt as well. And with 4 queens out, though, that is nice. 3 of them are in the main base at the moment, though. So if he goes into the
Here it
natural, he has
goes.
some damage opportunities. But 4 more Hydras on the way. She's got a good position to kind of just collapse on these Voids. And indeed, she is coming in on the Void Rays. Looks like he will opt to maybe fight. The Bile's not in the right spot, but he runs anyways. Does. Maybe. Oh, it doesn't even kill the low health Void Ray. That's very painful for Kitty Cat Gamer here. Chiampone, though, not pulling the low health Void Ray back at all is definitely a mistake here as well. Bile's hitting 2 of the Void Rays, so that's very nice too, but still trading out against those Hydralisks. But has to run now, I think, once he sees these additional queens coming in, but no transfuse!
I don't
Okay,
think
so-
she's had practice about that with Transfuse, man.
Yeah, transfuse is obviously a pretty difficult spell to pull off, so no big deal about that, but it is painful that she fought pretty disjointedly there. I think if those 3 queens were there with the 4 initial Hydralisks, she's able to pretty much just push back the Voiders without losing much at all. As it is, I think that was a decent trade. It looks like it was about 8 Hydralisks and a queen for 3 Void Rays.
I'm happy with that for her, because I think she could have died easily. She just miscontrols that, so that's good,
Yeah.
good for her, even though it was a decent trade for Champon, right?
Decent, but Chiampone as well. I mean, she's able to take somewhat inefficient trades at this point. She's up 11 workers. She has a natural. Chiampone does not. He's still trying to reprobe. And Chiampone just has some sort of thing against natural bases, it looks like, in this series. That he's not even moving to take one.
He wasn't like that in the previous game, so yeah, I think he's just like worried about these kitty cat attacks.
Yeah, I think so. And a third base even going down for Kitty Cat Gamer. And I think she's gotten to a point where the game is now her element more. She's hitting her inject cycles again. She's got enough Hydras out to really rebuff the Void Rays. And I think we're just going to see a big Hydrolisk attack here in 3 minutes, 4 minutes, somewhere in that range. With 3 gases worth of Hydros, she's going to be able to absolutely annihilate pretty much any number of Void Rays you can produce off of one base. Now he's going for Psystorm. Okay, if he can get Psystorm out, that may be decent, but it's still only 3 Void Rays on the flip side of things to actually kill the Hydras once the Psystorms have hit. I'd like to see maybe just Charge, I think, from Chiampone. And then go like Charge Storm. Something like that would definitely work well against the Hydras. Because Hydralisks are not very great against Charge Lots, and they're really not very great against Psystorms.
Yeah, it took Kitty Cat a couple of games to adjust, but she's definitely adjusted better in this game.
Yeah, I think this game has gone well for her. The continued Ling run-bys were really good. Yeah, she is transfusing the Hydrogen, which is very good. I was worried about that maybe getting sniped later on, but we do have Storm on the way now, Warp Gate as well. I think the big thing here is just whether or not she attacks in the near future. Because if she gives him too much time, at the same time though, if he doesn't expand, is now expanding. It looks like okay. Yeah, if he expands and gets up a few storms and maybe some more zealots, but he's not making charge, so there is that. Looks like it is just going to be Void Ray Storm, which is not going to be great against Hydras, but may still be able to pull it. 4 shield batteries. That is another thing I worry about. I remember from the first series as well, Kitty Cat Gamer did end up winning it, but in game 2 and 3, she had repeated engagements where she'd be up like 50 supply, but she'd fight down a ramp where only half her army was fighting or something like that, and she'd lose the first 2 or 3 fights against Qianpeng.
I think she's gonna test the waters here, man.
Yeah, looks like it. There are 2 High Templar on the way, but they're not gonna have Storm for a little while. But yeah, if she does something similar to that, because she had some pretty inefficient fights, it was her macro that pulled her through. So hopefully her fights go better this time around, but if she tries to fight up into Storm and 4 shield batteries, that could hurt a lot.
Yes.
At the same time, though, it's going to be about 10 seconds until any Storm is available. And obviously, just because you have Storm doesn't mean you can cast it in the right spots, so we'll see.
Okay, here it is, man.
Yeah, here she comes. We are just like a second away from Storm, so he should have Size Storm available. Do you push up into that after seeing what you've seen? Looks like the answer is yes. Size Storm actually almost as much on the Zealots as it is on the Hydras, but still a lot of damage going down there. We're going to see a second Size Storm. It looks like no. Second Size Storm very late, and the Hydras had already arced out. So I think, yeah, we're actually going to see Kitty Cat Gamer push through and win.
He should.
By the time that second Storm came through, her Hydras had kind of naturally formed an arc out. So it was only able to hit like 3 or 4 Hydras instead of like the entire ball. So very nice for Kitty Cat Gamer there. She's making 11 more Hydras, and this is exactly what we were kind of talking about. Oh, but she is attacking a building. Okay, does retarget. Accidentally biles her own Hydras, but still should be able to take down this Void Ray, I'd imagine. Unless maybe there's a battery overcharge, which there is.
Oh, look at that.
Doesn't quite depower, though, but even with this, I mean, it's 43 workers to 21, 63 army supply to 4. She can lose this whole army, and she still had a great trade during this fight. And yeah, I mean, the Void Ray's DPS is so low against Hydras that the entire shield battery overcharge runs its full length, and then the Void Ray dies.
Well,
so definitely going to be a win here for Kitty Cat Gamer.
That's for sure.
So very nice out of her, and I think, I got to say, though, Qianpeng made some critical mistakes that allowed what Kitty Cat Gamer did to work, but GG is called.
Alright, what are we going to see for Game 4, man? I think Qianpeng has to change his strategy for sure.
Yeah, at the same time, I think if Qianpeng had, like, he walled, but he didn't wall. And if he actually walls, like, properly, I think that game goes his way. A lot of the advantage that she formed was just because those lings made it in. And if he had a proper wall, none of those lings run-bys happen. And not only does that mean there's no damage, but I'd imagine that getting all that damage with those lings probably was a confidence boost, and a lot of times that causes you to play a little bit cleaner as well. But at the same time, walling as Protoss is not so easy as just going, okay, I guess I'll wall this time. So we'll see. It might just...
yeah, we still make mistakes walling. Like, I did that.
Yeah.
I still do that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's been multiple games I've won where I 12 pull and the Protoss is like, I've got a wall, I've got a Zealot in the wall, and then my lings just run around the side of the building that isn't actually a wall with the cliff, and they're like, gosh, darn it. And then the game's over.
And
so even a Grandmaster War can happen.
I do want to say something. Thank you for the Patreon support, Aquanuts. Appreciate it. If you're still watching.
Yeah, big thanks to you, Aquanuts. And we're going to head into Pride of Altaris LE. But yeah, it'll come down, I think, a lot to... my guess is Kitty Cat Gamer will do the same thing. Ling run buys, and then try to go into Hydras. In a lot of ways, it'll come down to how well Lance, or I guess I should say Qianpeng, handles the attacks.
You are watching FSL Season 5.
Well, we got a series now. ET.
Indeed we do. I'm glad to see that I didn't want it to be a 3-0. I'm glad it's not a 3-0, but we are loading in. It's going to be Pride of Altaris LE in the bottom right-hand side. We have the purple Protoss player. Has she begun the reverse sweep? It is.
I'm on the bottom right.
That's right. Purple Zerg player. I said purple
Kitty
Protoss.
Cat Gamer.
And in the upper left, the blue Protoss player. He is.
Chin Pong.
With the attitude right there. The video intro. Like it.
Yeah. Yeah, self-directed. He always likes to remind me. And he's going in for it. I think this is going to be a proxy 2 or 4 gate.
Yeah, I think
Technically, it
it's
should be a
gonna
proxy 4 gate, but I think he's done 2 gate in the past, so we'll see. This has made a resurgence, actually, on the Grandmaster ladder as well, which I'm just so ecstatic about, let me tell you. I just love playing as proxy gateways. It's my favorite build. But we'll see how it goes here. Oh, no, I think
Oh,
she's
the
expanding.
one time!
The one
time
game!
she doesn't do pool first. Oh no, let's see how late
That's-
this pool is. That's the key.
That is so unlucky.
Okay, it's pretty fast pool.
Yeah, it's a fast pool, so that does help. But a lot of it comes down to whether or not you scout. If you don't see the Zealots until they're in your natural, or any sign of the Zealots until they're in your natural,
Yeah.
a lot of the time you just die. At the same time, though, that's with 4 gate. With only 2 gateways, that's not a lot of Zealot production. And you can see, the reason you want to go for 4 gateways is because you can see he's already floating almost 600 minerals by the time the first gateway finishes up. So he's never going to be spending all of his money with just 2 gateways. A lot of times you can make a forge with it and make cannons, but 2 gates is just not enough production to spend your money. And so that may make it that even if she doesn't scout it, she can still hold, just because there's half the amount of Zealots you'd expect there to be.
Indeed.
We also need to see a pylon in the near future, or else he's going to get supply blocked with only 3 Zealots.
Oh yeah, he is. Oh man.
And we're not seeing one yet, so I think he's going to be supply blocked as those Zealots are already getting ready to pop. He's queuing up a bunch more Zealots, but yep, we see the supply block already happening. As he realized, he's sending in the probe out. Does make another pylon. 2 more pylons. Okay, so he is spending his money. I stand corrected, but I think that's partially because he has 5 and 4 Zealots queued up on each of the gateways. So he's that's why his money is spent, because he's queuing out the wazoo. At the same time, though, I will say Kitty Cat Gamer has, just because you don't see a natural from Chien Pone doesn't mean anything. He's never made a nat, even when he went more quote-unquote macro focused.
This is the one game where, it was perfect for Chien Pone, despite the supply blocks.
Yeah, she's only made 4 lings. She has 1 queen. He's attacking the natural base, though. I think you got to go for the main pretty much immediately here. At the same time, however, will she just... Okay, she's just going to run past. I like that choice, but at the same time, 4 lings, if you just
what
aim
she's
those
gonna
probes,
do?
it's not going to be enough.
She
May try
likes
and depower the
going for a
gateways.
counter.
Yeah, she's either going to counterattack the main base or try and kill the gateways, I think, or just run the Zealots around. And Chien Pone, he's getting strung around. You really got to focus the Zealots on the probes, or the drones, I should say, or the bases themselves.
I like what she's
Kitty Cat
doing,
Gamer's
man.
just keeping them busy. Yeah. At the
This is-
same time, though, all she's making is lings while she's doing this. She really needs to make like 3 or 4 spine crawlers, because no amount of lings is going to be able to beat this amount of Zealots at this point. I don't think it's 7 Zealots, and so they're always going to be able to trade well against the lings. She does clean up those Zealots, but now it's... Yeah, now she's got 10 lings on the way, but none out and only 1 queen still. If she can continue running them around, maybe, but it's going to take a long time to make just lings off of only 1 injecting queen and an extra hatchery to outnumber the Zealots that are being produced. Same time, though, Chien Pone, he A-clicked the hatchery. Quick micro tip here, if you do want to target the hatchery and not get run around like he was doing, A-click the hatchery, but then hold position those Zealots, so they'll attack the hatchery as long as there's nothing else directly next to them. At the same time, though, they still traded well enough, and this is what I'm talking about, kind of. I mean, he's continuously able to produce Zealots. He's never really going to run out of money, and if she's just making link, she is making link speed now, which is nice, and is trying to counterattack, but Roach Warren is coming down. Okay, this is good. She bought herself a little bit of time. I think these 4 Zealots, 6 Zealots, they're going to win this fight. Only 1 Zealot goes down. She will be able to, or he will be able to kill this natural base now. On the single ling counterattack, even gets pulled back somewhat.
Yeah, she went back. She can't fight
And
this.
now they're just slow rallying into the Zealots. Oh, and he's going to click the hatchery down. Okay, he does fight the lings. That's good. That would have been a mistake. 1 Zealot, still 4 left, and more being produced. He's actually not rallying his gateways directly into the natural at the moment, so there are just a couple Zealots chilling at his proxy still, not coming to help. 16 lings on the way. That's a lot of Zerglings. There's only 8 Zealots out, but the 4 that are here are very low. She can fight and kill these with 16 Zerglings. And then there'll only be 4 Zealots out. But she's fighting a little disjointedly as well, so he still takes a pretty efficient trade. Overall, currently, 1,900 resources lost for Kitty Cat Gamer, 1,100 for Qian Pone. But she's stabilized a bit. Yeah, she needs to start producing roaches right now. If she can do that, she'll be in a good spot.
I see a couple of roaches coming out.
She's trading the Lings out. That's a little unfortunate as well. You kind of want to wait until the last possible second here to fight. Get as many roaches out as you can. And the Queen now going to die as well. I just don't know. There's only 2 roaches, and now she's going to start taking drone damage, it looks like. And the Zealots even damaging the roaches down quite heavily as they're just moving around, or I guess I should say move commanding around. She tries to come in and fight with the Lings, but the Lings have already died. The Zealots are falling as well, and I think... Who was it that predicted 3-1? Was that Seth? That was you. 3-1 prediction, I think, is going to be correct here. There's just...
I think it was me. But
I think so. You're just never going to be able to produce enough here, right?
yeah,
I mean,
just doesn't know how to handle.
she has a bit of a bank, but yeah.
Zealots.
Yeah, I think the running around of the Lings initially was really good. I think if she drops a Roach Warren as soon as she sees that and then goes into Roaches while just running the Zealots around, I mean, Qian Pone got to be a little critical here because he actually, funnily enough, he did that way better. In the first series, whenever he did Proxy Gateway, he would just target the drones if you tried to run him around. But this time around, I mean, the first, 4 Zealots were chasing 3 Lings for, a full minute. So, unfortunately, though, it's hard to run those Lings around and also macro at home. So, GG is going to get called.
The learning curve of dealing with the cheeses, right?
That's why they call me Cheese and Pone.
Oh, now you know what your name means. All right. Well, congrats, Chimpon, on winning. But let's start with Kitty Cat Gamer, Seth. Oh, I think Seth is... go ahead.
Yeah, good games. Congratulations, Champone. Good game, Kitty Cat. I think you have a lot of opportunities to have won 1 or 2 of those games. But how surprised were you of how early those Void Rays came in the first 3 games?
I was surprised. I didn't think he would have Void Rays so early.
What?
Yeah. And then in game number 3, you realized just make a ton of Hydralisks, and then you can deal with it. But then, game number 4, you decided, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go hatch first. Did you feel safe in that game number 4 to go hatch first instead of going pool first from all the previous games?
I think they're gonna take the Zagara.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you saw the Zealots. What was going through your mind when you first saw them?
I
think it's okay if I just tell you. The password is correct.
so I just kept building Zerglings. And I forgot I had a Roach one.
Yeah, I think if you made roaches there, I think you would have held that a little bit better. But it was good that you ran around the Zerglings, had the Zealots chase them to buy you enough time, and I think that helped out in the very beginning, but just wasn't enough in the end. Good games. KJ, ET, you guys have any questions?
Yeah, go ahead, ET.
Yeah, so I guess, was it kind of the plan to go pool first, pretty much whenever, or was it because you saw kind of the weird probe movements in the first couple games out of Qian Pone that caused you to go for that pool first?
I don't think she heard your question.
Can you hear me now? Yeah, so in game 1 and 2, obviously you went for the pool first, but you'd also seen some weird probe movement out of Qian Pone in those games. Was that a reactive thing, or were you kind of planning on going pool first from the start?
I was just going pool first.
Okay, perfect. All right, that was my question.
So, what did your dad tell you between the games? Anything you can tell us?
So the last game, before that game, he told me to just go a hatchery first, and so I did that. But
okay, so Cyan told you to go hatchery first. There you go. All right. Um, well, it was fun seeing you play, Kitty Cat Gamer. You've improved quite a bit. We have the off season coming, and I'm sure you'll have some fun, and maybe we'll have you on some of the 2v2s. So, any thoughts, about the season? How did it go for you? Did you have fun? What are the things you enjoyed?
I had fun.
There you go. She had fun. We'll take that. We'll take it.
And I did want to hop in and say, I think you did a great job of adjusting on the fly throughout the series. The ability at this level to be able to get to the point where you can beat that strategy that you're not really used to during the series was really impressive. So very well done there. I think you played really well overall throughout that series. So well done.
Nice job.
Job. And congratulations, Champone. Question is, you were just doing it on one base almost every time. Were you just confident you're just gonna topple them with just that one base economy?
I guess. I don't
Yes.
know.
Okay. And what made you decide to go with that proxy 2 gate with a ton of zealots in that last game?
Well, it's basically the usual what Little Reaper did, what lots of people do. I just wanted the game to be over really quick.
Got it. Nice.
Gotcha. All right, ET, KJ.
Yeah, so I guess again with the proxy gate, was that something where like after she'd beaten the Void Rays, you're like, hey, she might be figuring this strategy out and I need to swap it up, or would you probably have gone for that proxy gate anyways in that game? I guess you wouldn't have made it to that game if you won, but was it an adjustment to swap because she managed to beat your Void Rays?
Yeah, it was an adjustment. I thought that High Templar would probably work there.
Okay, perfect.
So, Chanpong, thanks for telling us what your name means. You and Little Reaper are the youngest players playing Protoss, so good luck to you on your next match. And see you next time. Kitty Cat, great seeing you again. And that'll do it, guys. Thank you. Any final words from either of you?
Actually, that next time for Champone is right now.
Yeah, for the next up. So,
But good game, Kitty Cat Gamer. We'll see you next season, hopefully. And we're gonna be moving. Ooh, we need to give access. Is Fenrir's Discord
yeah. All right. We'll
cannot
sort that
log
out,
in.
guys. While
Yeah,
we
so
get
let's
that
take a quick
sorted
break.
out, we'll take a
Yeah.
break for the next match, which is the Code B finals, pretty much.
That's right, Champone and Fenrir. We'll talk about this more when we get back. We come back from break.
Yeah, Depot is in all in here. Look at that, 2 base all in. He's not even
Definitely all in, but that's actually what he needs to do because he's not gonna win
Yeah.
this now to try to catch up. And look at this double
Oh,
stim.
drop those mines,
Dude, he did a double stim. This is terrible. He needs to drop the mines like now. Oh man.
Good mine hits here.
Oh, decent mine hits. But he is heavily stimmed. I think he pressed stim like 3-4 times, so we're gonna have to talk to him about
Oh
it.
no, Science gonna see Deepoo's expansion.
Yeah, he is definitely gonna run into that if he goes.
Gonna cancel that.
At least he ran into it where he can cancel it. So he
Look at how many
cancel it.
Templars there is, man.
It's time to cancel, people. No cancel. Oh man, he is so flustered right
There's like
now.
16 Templars.
Yeah, I think the power of Protoss is here.
Yeah, this is just gonna be a crazy storm fest right here.
Yeah, there's not much you can do.
Bam! Oh, nope.
And he's gonna lose his one of
Yeah,
two bases.
this is
Second
only
base. That's it.
expansion. That's
Yeah.
oh, nice pick on that prism.
Nice pick on the prism, but
Yeah, it's just too much Protoss right here.
And
And he's
Deepo's now
leaving
gonna
his
go
base.
defend. Yeah, he's figured, you know what, let me go attack. I have these mines, maybe it can buy me time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
he's gonna
force
go
the
here.
Protoss to go back.
Yeah, he needs to go in.
Wish Deepo would have used the advantage of Terra, which is mobility.
Yeah.
Drop ships.
Yeah.
He never used the drop ships.
Yeah, Deepo had, really,
There we go. Send it to the main. There we go.
yeah. Oh well, he
Oh.
can send it here, which is okay too, but the
Yeah.
Void Race is not gonna make an end to this. And we should see him tap out when he loses his medivacks here. He has one base, guys. One base
Yeah.
versus probably 5.
Yep.
And yeah, he's
This is
gonna
it.
tap out.
GG right there.
This is it, boys and girls.
Scion.
Those 2 Void Rays were necessary for this defense. He's just gonna have to evacuate the 3rd base. He needs to get everything out. No, but Hyper Turtle is gonna try to commit without the coordination of his teammate. His teammate is kind of body blocked all the way to the top of the ramp, and all of the links have already fallen. And I think this is not enough to defend. The links can't even get down there. Yeah, I think this is it. I mean, I don't think this is enough for the Turtis and Hair team to be able to take this out. There's just too much damage potential here for GG Izzy. There's even a Warp Prism, another Warp Prism for Dark Menace in the back lines. They can just keep warping here, and I think that was a quick game. I think both games were attributed to units that were just kind of out of position, and also the Lynx kind of just went down there by themselves, and they just got massacred before even had War Bunnies get a chance to engage. But with that was it. Quick 2-0, just like Freedom's prediction. And let's do a quick interview with our players here. Armies are there. You're gonna get wiped out, and they do scout it. They should be able to see this. And oh, this is gonna be painful. Prismatic alignment is gonna wipe out 1, 2, 3. Is it 4? 4! Oh my goodness. Freedom just plummeted in supply. They need to stick together though if they want to make this work. There are a lot of Widow Mines. A lot of it get triggered. Oh, nice hits by the Banelings. The Banelings wiped out a lot of the Widow Mines already. Here are the Banelings crashing in all these Marines. The Marines take a lot of damage. They stemmed in. I think you just need to sneeze at some of them and they will fall. But the Air Army by War Bunnies is taking apart the main base of Little Reaper. But he's gonna fall back. They're all gonna fall back, maxed out. But Little Reaper is trying to chase him and try to force the issue. But I don't think this is a good idea. There's more air units here for War Bunnies. Oh, he loses almost all but one of the carriers. There's one left. Never mind, there's none left. Here is Hyper Turtle to help with the ground units. And I think they can keep pushing here, but are they going to regroup? They are gonna, just a good move here by Hyper Turtle. More Banelings are in the way. But Freedom is posturing on the top side of the base. There is a ton of Widow Mines here. But it's gonna probably go off against the top of the... Oh, good thing the Marines ran back, because otherwise that would have been disastrous. Widow Mines trying to target interceptors that are on top of the Marines. But there are blinding clouds by the Vipers. And I think this might be it, because Freedom cannot lose this army, and he does. There are all these Widow Mines, but that's not gonna be enough. Hyper Turtle's in pursuit. Hyper Turtle has the biggest unit count in the game. More Banelings wipe out the rest of the Widow Mines. Freedom cannot rebuild. He only has the main base, which is already mined out, and this base here, which is also mined out, and he has no income. Little Reaper is still producing, well, he is producing 5 carriers at a time, but I don't think that will be enough here. I think this is a victory march for Turtis and Hare, and this is a victory to catapult them into playoffs. Good job by Turtis and Hare.
just falling short there is a little dumb. Woo!
All right, Seth, we're back. ET, we have the players with us too.
Right, it's time for the Code B Championship. This is gonna be pretty cool. We haven't seen Fenrir in a while. I think his last game was back in March 9th.
Yeah, it's
And I
been a
think
while.
that is 2 months ago. But we are joined here by both our players, Champone and Fenrir. We just talked to Champone earlier, so let's start with Fenrir. Fenrir, let me ask you, are you rusty or you been practicing and you ready to go? Which one is it?
Some practice and I lost, and I'm not very confident at all.
Okay. So you say you're not.
I'm not sure how much of a chance I really have.
Just hit
Champone,
the.
you're not muted.
Alright. Champone singing there. But last time you guys played, it was a pretty close and emotional game. And you were that close to losing that matchup. Does that have any factor in why you're nervous and you don't feel confident at all?
Well, I mean, I don't really stand any chance at all, really.
Ooh, doesn't chance.
He's obviously a better player than I am. I just got lucky.
Okay. All right, we'll see that in the next in our best of
Sounds
5
like a
here.
trap. It's a trap,
Sounds like
man.
KJ, questions.
It is a trap.
It's a trap, right? Well, question is, you guys haven't even done your vetoes yet, FYI, so we can't ask you about the
Yeah.
map questions.
Yeah.
Why don't you,
We'll
why don't
we'll
you guys
watch
do
that
real
actually.
quick?
Yeah,
Why
let's
don't you guys
watch
do
that
that while we
while
ask you questions? That's gonna happen live, guys, on the stream
Sorry.
as they select them.
Being really laggy for me.
He says it's a little
problem.
laggy, but you know the selection is there, is ready to go. Let's see.
So while you guys are doing it, since Fenrir is gonna pick first, Champone, the last time you guys played, it was a pretty emotional game for you. Have you put that in the back of your mind, or are you still kind of upset about that, or you've forgotten about it and ready to move on?
Nah, I really don't care.
All right,
I
you
don't
moved
care
on.
about it.
That's
That's
nice.
in
All
the
right.
past, Seth. This
And
is the
how
playoffs
confident
now.
are you in this game tonight against Fenrir for this championship?
Pretty confident.
Pretty confident. Okay.
I learned storms to fight him with, so that's why I use storm only twice while fighting Kitty Cat.
So he prepared the storms for you, Fenrir. All right. Any questions while we wait for their vetoes?
That veto.
ET or KJ?
Let's see, man. I don't want to distract him too much from the veto process.
I know we kind of need to get him going with the veto process. So why don't we have them do the vetoes while we talk about them and mute them real quick.
Sure.
I think my veto is broken. It's just letting me veto all of the maps. It's not stopping from vetoing
Why don't
any.
you restart it? There's something wrong with your. Why don't you refresh that page?
Yeah, mine isn't even letting me veto.
Yeah.
I'll just refresh too.
Well,
Well,
Levi, you're not supposed to.
Yeah, Fenrir has to veto
You're
first.
supposed
So
to be neat.
Okay.
there we go.
Okay, it worked.
Hey, there it is. We're seeing
Ah,
it now.
snap,
We'll show
look.
that on
I didn't mean to
stream.
veto.
So while they're doing that, we're gonna mute them and deafen them while we talk about them. So,
Okay.
So Seth, I'm seeing here the selections. ET.
Yeah, Shampone
What are you
just
expecting?
doesn't.
They can't hear us. So ET, they can't hear us at all. What do you expect out of
Yeah,
it?
Shampone doesn't like 2,000 atmospheres. It seems, right? Because it's too big.
Too big. He likes the cheese. So.
Yeah. Here's the thing with Fenrir is he has the one style he plays, but as soon as he feels like someone's going to do something to hard counter that, he does switch it up, and we've seen him. That power basically has caused him to win, I think, 2 of his series, because I think versus Miss Uber XL, obviously, she adjusted, she started to go into Colossi and things like that, and so instead he hit just a really big 2-base timing and just absolutely killed her. And I think that may be exactly what happens here. I think Pone has been prepping for months for the Fenrir that was, and that may not exist anymore. I think we might see a lot more aggression out of Fenrir. If that's the case, and Fenrir has done a good amount of prep, I think he has a really big advantage here. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on Fenrir. What do y'all think?
Instability did mention that when they were practicing, they practiced specifically against Terran. So I think it's for this matchup, right?
Right.
So Shampone should be prepared, but as what from the inside information here, Fenrir has involved since. So well, we'll see what that practice is prepared him for.
Well, and I'm not saying he has evolved. I can't say for sure. I'm just saying he's had a lot of time to do it, and he's good enough that he was. It's funny because in a lot of ways, you looked at the ways he won all of his games, and you're like, oh my gosh, he literally just sat on 2 base with tanks, and people just kind of fell on the sword that was his base. But we did also see, if you look a little deeper, it's almost like the whole Sky Toss thing was EVP, where you're just like, well, they had Sky Toss, so they won. It's overpowered. But then if you really look deep into it, you can see that like he has the ability to adjust. Like game 2 against Miss Uber XL was really a good example of it. He scouted, he saw that she was going to counter what he'd been doing in all of his series thus far, and he instantly just went for a big push and killed her. So I think because he showed that ability to evolve, if he cared to, could have easily developed a new style that could pretty hard counter what Pone has been practicing.
Gotcha. I mean, because scouting report on Fenrir, right? If I were to, do a scouting report on him, he's very defensive. But one of the things that he does well is he gets to his 3-3 upgrades with his bio really quickly, right? And then so he gets defensive, and if you don't break him, he goes across the map with his 3-3 bio. And so I don't think these 1-base strategies that Shampone has shown tonight, maybe that won't be the case here with Fenrir, but I'm not sure that's gonna work out. He's gonna need to make sure he expands, gets a good economy to be able to really break Fenrir, but we'll see. Did you want to still talk? You want to talk to them? Or?
I think let's just say good luck to them. Let's get their play, do the talking.
All right. So, all right, guys. Just quickly, we're gonna say good luck. Have fun. We will talk to you guys after the match. KJ, ET, any final words to our players?
Nothing but
if
good
this
luck.
takes 8 years, I'm going to be kind of upset with you boys.
I'm gonna try not. I'm gonna try to make it as quick as possible.
No, you're good. Play your best. Good luck, y'all.
Play your best.
Play your best. All right. Good luck. Have fun. We'll talk to you guys after.
Good luck.
Let's mute and deafen them once again. We'll get started.
Hardwire in the first map, so that's not too big of a map. That's the good news.
All right, real quick, predictions. Go ahead, KJ.
3-2 Fenrir.
I'll take 3-1 once again, but Fenrir as well.
I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go against the grain. I think 3-2 Chienpone. I know he's practiced his butt off for this, so we'll see.
All right, let's do
You
this.
are watching
Take it away.
FSL Season 5.
Sibling rivalry coming right up.
Yep, here we go. In the top right-hand side of Hardwire LE, we have the green Terran player. He is
Fenrir.
And in the lower left, the blue Protoss. He is
Chienpone.
So ET, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Fenrir said, "He's obviously a better player than me. Nah, I'm not gonna win at all." Sounds like a trap, as I said.
A little bit. From what I know of Fenrir as a person, a lot of times he gets in his head a little bit about that. There's actually a third brother right in between these two, and we call them the Three Musketeers. They're all super competitive with each other. And so I'm sure he got absolutely berated for the way he played by both of his brothers after the series. They're like, you just sat in your base. You're not even good at the game. You just made siege tanks. So that may have gotten in his head a little bit. It could also be a little bit of,
what the heck?
Joking around. I think he's flexing his APM. And this is exactly what I was wondering may happen. We're seeing a double proxy Rex out of Fenrir. And a proxy gateway out of Chienpone. And this heavily, heavily favors the Terran here. Because Chienpone is not trying to make any sort of ranged units. He's not getting any gases, anything like that. Without Stalkers, he's never going to be able to break the high ground for Fenrir if he puts one depot there. Zealots are never going to break that in a million years. And the Marines are going to get a lot of damage on the other side of the map. So this is kind of what I was wondering. I actually said in one of our group chats, I was like, you know what? I bet you that he's just going to proxy Rex every game after he turtled so hard.
Yeah.
And it appears to be exactly what's happening thus far.
And he has 5 pylons coming, man. A 5th pylon. It's insane.
Look, he learned from that last game against Kitty Cat Gamer. He's not getting supply blocked with his first 2 Zealots, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I'll say Fenrir's barracks have been done. Okay, he's going for add-ons. The only thing I'm a little surprised we're not seeing is an engineering bay out of him as well, knowing how he plays. He's getting his units pretty late. Is that Marine being made at home? It's not. He's not actually making anything at home, and he's not walling.
Yeah,
so,
that's going to be an issue. And
are we lagging? Little lag spike. Looks like we're okay, though. This could be a big issue. I was really expecting him to wall just because you need another depot here in the near future. There it is. But it's late enough that the Zealot can target it down and it can't be repaired. However, he's only sending 1 Zealot across, so that is not great for him. And it is going to be a bunker rush, actually. So, the Zealot is going in on that depot. If he'd sent all his Zealots, I think he breaks this. But as it is, I think it'll get up. And if Fenrir repairs it, which he's sending another SCV over to do, yeah, this Zealot's never going to bust through. And Chienpone is blissfully unaware of the fact that this is not that's all that's going on for Fenrir. He sees this barracks. I'm sure he has zero suspicion about what's going on the other side of the map. And Fenrir now moving in with his first 2 Marines. He has a bunker up.
He should recall some of... Oh, okay. This is not bad.
Oh,
He traps...
he's jumping on it while he's distracted. That is very good for Chienpone, but the Marine, I think, has rallied into the bunker.
Oh,
it wasn't, but he did run it in at the last second. However, he may be able to bust that bunker with only 1 Marine, and it doesn't look like the SCVs are repairing it. Indeed, they're not. He can break that. He may be able to win against the rally. He needs to just recall his Zealots, I think, and fight here now that you've broken the bunker, but he's not doing that. Still, the micro out of Fenrir, as perhaps to be expected, is non-existent here. Still, though, that's a lot of probes to fall for only 2 SCVs. He does trap this one. You got to recall, man. If he recalls, I think he's in an okay spot here, but as it is, he's just going to lose every probe. He's walking home as well. That's very unfortunate. And he's not making probes behind this or Zealots. He's not doing anything with the 900 minerals he's got, and he calls GG. I think even a little bit prematurely, maybe, but he's not leaving. He just called GG. And now Fenrir's floating home. Pretty much, he says. Actually, honestly, if he just takes a Nexus, maybe even 2 Nexi, he's got 900 minerals. He'd be doing pretty well for himself.
Yeah,
he's got 3 Chronos available.
GSL rules is once you say GG, you're done. But, you know, here...
Yeah, not
I mean,
not
they
quite
did that
the
the last time, remember? Chinpo
Yep.
got the GG from Fenrir, and then Fenrir played it out, and then he ended up getting a tie. So.
Yep. Yeah, we don't have such rules, luckily for these lads. And yet again, by the way, we have 9 zealots being queued at once from those gateways. So Pone, I think, is unfortunately doing pretty much exactly what he did in the last series, where things don't go quite how he's expecting it. And it seems like he's almost given up on the game already. Not almost, he just has. He's given up on the game already.
Yeah, well, he needs to GG if he's going to give up on the game.
Yeah. He's going to keep making zealots because he has money. Okay, I think he actually canceled some of them. That's good. Okay, he canceled zealots. He's just got to expand. If he just expands and makes probes, he'd be fine here. But again, you think you're in a bad spot, and so you put yourself in a bad spot. He's making more gateways, but he's adding on a gas now. I don't think this is the way to go about it, unfortunately. Yeah, and Fenrir, he's making... he's got a bunker, and he's making a wall on the low ground so he can float that command center down. And Fenrir, I'd say, is definitely doing a better job of just macroing out of a weird situation.
Well, yeah, that's true, because he made a command center. But if it didn't, I think they'd be even.
Yeah,
You know, because Protoss.
Okay, Pone, he's actually making probes one by one. He's going to bust this, actually, which is very nice for him. That's really good. These are the only Marines out at the moment. So there's no Marines left, actually. He has to make more, and he's not started any of them. So actually, and this is good as well for Pone on 2 levels. 1, he gets damage, and 2, this is going to make him feel a lot better about the state of this game. So that may sort of revitalize his play a little bit. He'll go up the ramp, he'll see the wall, and I think he will retreat. And as long as he retreats with those zealots and keeps making probes, which he stopped, he'll be in a good spot. It's going to take...
To get in there.
Yeah, I think, though, if you just make a couple stalkers, he could make 3 stalkers right now, and you sit at that low ground. Fenrir is so far away from siege tanks. I think both mentally
too much in the way the Code B mind works.
That's true. Well, and Fenrir is going to try and hide a base. Still, though, I don't think Fenrir is going to be able... And once this actually helps Chinpon as well. Once he sees this base, it kind of inserts the idea of, oh, he might sneak bases into his mind, right? Because a lot of times it just doesn't occur. But once it occurs the first time, it helps him later on. He's stopped making probes, though, and he's not sending his stalkers across, but this is a weird spot. This is definitely a strange position, to say the least. That's so many Marines, though. He is continuing to put more stalkers. Yeah, for sure. He's definitely in a good spot. Pone, he's just going to make 1 gas stalkers. And it's going to actually be combat shielded Marines with +1 here in the near future. So I think Fenrir definitely has a pretty big advantage. Pone, I was feeling good because he was continuing to make probes, but then he kind of just stopped at 11 probes. He's making stalkers now, but stalkers are not very great against stem bio, especially once you get those marauders with concussive shells in. Fenrir's playing this really well. He won't have medevac, right, so if you over stems, yeah, I think this might just end the game.
Although Protoss army is pretty big.
It definitely is. It's sizable, but that stem is going to be so powerful.
If he only attacks with that bunker's not being made, but now that with the bunkers, if that finishes, forget it. No chance.
Yeah, and even already they're acting as a blocker for those zealots, and since the zealots don't have charge, by the time they walk around, Fenrir will be on 3 bases, so it'll take quite a while. Yeah. And they're even going to finish up. With units in there, there's no way for him to break this. Again, I think if he just macroed, he would have been okay, but as it is, he does... I mean, Fenrir only just now stems. Yeah, there's a lot of stalkers. Fenrir only just now stems, lost all of his marauders. I guess there's 1 in the bunker. Chinpon does have good micro. Still, though, it's like he could have just been making probes behind this, and if he had been, I'd actually feel pretty good about this, right? This is a good trade overall. He traded very efficiently here, but he's still on 11 probes.
Yeah, he never really... He made like 1 or 2, and then that was it.
Yep, and he's going behind the base now. Fenrir actually could crush this if his whole army was not in bunkers, but indeed it is. So instead, he's going to trade out these Marines here. He will get a couple stalkers, but he loses a lot more Marines than he should have in that fight. Now with the Marauder here, he should be able to clean this up. Indeed, he does. And I think we might just see a tap out from Pone here. I think that was his last hurrah.
A real
I
tap out?
think I
Or
think
a,
so. You see your opponent's on 2 bases. No, he's gonna try again. It's hard to tell. It's really hard to tell what's gonna demotivate them and not. He's making probes again. Man, if he'd been making probes this whole time, though, he'd be on like 30, and he's had the money for it the whole time, really.
Yeah, he would have had 2 bases and been totally in great shape. Also, if he wasn't wasting time on the rocks, he would have encountered the Marines before the bunker.
That's true. That might have actually helped him, though. I'm not sure, but Fenrir only stemmed the army that was outside of the bunkers, which is a major reduction. Like, half of his army didn't get stemmed, so that's a major reduction in DPS. So the Zealots were actually able to make it up to the units. And Fenrir's army, because he clicked it on the bunker, about half of the units walked around to the front side of the bunker, so the Zealots no longer had to go around that or get aggroed onto it. They were just fighting units right away. So funnily enough, him waiting, I think, made him have a better trade. Even though it really shouldn't have. But now, there's no way he's going to break this. He has to macro out of it. He is trying. He's making more probes. He's up to 17. And this is the thing, is like, yeah, he didn't make probes for forever, but neither did Fenrir. He's still only on 21 workers. The thing is, though, he's going to start dropping.
He's notoriously a non-SCVer, so...
Yeah, it's true. He doesn't like to make a lot of workers. And generally, he's on 2 bases, so he doesn't need to make too many. But now he's sending a dropout. There is a pylon, and he does have warp gate and 4 gateways. So if he pulls probes, warps in quickly, which is a bit of a tall order. But if he does that... Oh, and a warp in just now comes in.
But for sure, he's not going to do a recall. That's the problem. So I think...
Yeah, I don't think he's going to recall. We haven't seen him do that up to now, and I doubt we're going to see that change. So this drop is going to, I think, just kill every probe, really. Man, see, and it's like Chiampone has the ability to do... I mean, he's macroing well. He's doing his warp-in cycles. He's keeping his money low. He just doesn't do it sometimes, and it really ends up hurting him here. He does have recall energy available, but I just don't think we're going to see it. He runs the probes. He's trying to go into a robo facility. He does run his probes away.
Oh, you know what? He does not have money for a new base.
He doesn't, but Fenrir, oh my gosh.
This is take 2.
Take 2. Well, in his defense, Fenrir does have this really weird habit of he will run with the drop before any units have shown up to defend it, because he really doesn't want to lose his units. I've seen this in his previous games as well, and I don't think Chiampone was expecting that. And if he had not run his units, he could have just killed the Nexus and it would have been game. So don't blame him too much for the GG there. You're not expecting the lift and run there. But still, I mean, he is at half supply, and it's a really rough position here for him. At the same time, though, Fenrir's production tab has been empty for quite a while now. He made like 1 more SCV. He's now starting to make units again. It's funny, these players, it really feels like they both kind of have a switch in their brain of I'm microing or I'm macroing, and the switch can't be flipped more than once every 30 seconds. So once they flip to I'm microing, it's going to be like at least a half minute or more until they make a unit.
Indeed.
And then they switch it back to macro and they make stuff, and their macro looks like they're Gold League almost with their macro.
Yeah.
And then they're right back into micro mode and they stop making units. But this push should end the game. Maybe if there's an immortal out or something like that. He is trying to make a robo facility.
He just has to go. I think. Oh, he's gonna go for the infrastructure, which is a big.
That's a good move.
There
Yeah,
won't be any
there's
units there,
everything
so.
is there.
And then we'll see
yeah.
the good luck. GG, well played for the 3rd time.
For the 3rd time. At least there's a well played in it each time, I suppose.
Yep. Can't recall here, even if he knows how to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, nicely enough out of him, he did warp in as many units as he could afford as soon as he saw the attack come in. So trying to get whatever value he can out of the gateways. He is expanding. If he could get out a couple of Colossi, it's like, those are good, but I just think the bio army is way too big at this point. It's going to have 1-1 soon. He's got all the upgrades. And Chiampone's just so low on money at this point. It's sad because, I mean, it really looks, with how close this game has been at parts, the fact that Chiampone really wasn't macroing for half of the 14 minutes we've been in this game, and he still almost is in a decent position. If he could could just keep his cool a little bit more, I think he'd be in a really good spot. Overstimming is Fenrir, but there's just no splash damage, and that's 6 Marauders, a ton of Marines, and nothing to deal with them. No charge on the Zealots. And this indeed, I think, will be that GG we've heard about. It's been foretold, and actually it was...
This time no GG, but it is the GG that we've been looking for.
Okay, I guess you said it already. Twice, so that worked.
Alright, well, that was a 14-minute game that probably could have ended at 4 or 5 minutes, right? Maybe.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing. I think Chimpone needs to realize it's like, yes, at the end of the day, if 2 Grandmasters are playing the builds they both played, I'm pretty sure the Protoss loses super hard, yes. But your opponent is not going to macro perfectly there. So even though you got hard counter with a proxy 2 racks and a racks at home against your 2-gate, you're not even close to being out of the game,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
But I think he... I mean, it's your older brother as well. You're not expecting your older brother to not play that well, right? You're like, oh, this is a giant I'm facing here.
Yes,
And
sir.
so I think overhyping his brother's macro capabilities is Chiampone. He's like, well, I should be dead here, so I'm dead here.
Well, game 2's on Curious Minds. Smaller map, guys.
You are watching FSL Season 5.
All right, we're loading into Curious Minds. Here in the bottom right-hand side, can he keep his cool in game number 2? It is our blue Protoss player. He is.
Chimpone.
And his opponent in the upper left, we have the green Terran. He is.
Fenrir.
Possibly no proxies here.
Looks like no proxies this time. And yeah, it's funny, I saw in chat, we talked about tells from Kadeo last Wednesday, I guess a few days ago, or even a couple days ago.
Yep.
Expansion, no cheese, no expansion cheese. For cheat opponents, if he GGs, he's not leaving. And if he doesn't GG, he may leave. So you've got some tells there too. Not quite as useful as the other ones, but there are some tells. But anyways, yeah, it's going to be an at-home game. It's funny, because this happened last time around as well. The only time last series that they played that Fenrir all-in or did like a proxy was the game that Chiampone did it as well. Every other time, they both kind of played at least they built their base at home. It wasn't exactly macro-focused, but they did have base at home games. So it's funny that happened again this time around. We'll see if that happens again down the line in this series. But, it's still very early on. Could go either player's way. And, and we have some lag, as we are used to. Oh my goodness. Well, I guess that's somewhat to be expected. They're in the same house.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've never seen that before, but I'm like, oh.
I can give you some fun facts about the internet at their house. Not when I used to live at home with my parents about a decade ago. I lived more recently than that, but back at that house with the internet, I think it's slightly better now. But back then, we had to buffer 144p videos on YouTube to watch them for about 20 minutes.
Ooh.
So the internet was really, really bad. It's rural area in a rural state. And we had the best internet available, and you still had to buffer 144p videos.
Yeah.
So, basically, all we're saying is Elon Musk, Starlink can't come fast enough.
Well, here's the thing. We see them on video, by the way, guys. Their video is not an issue.
Yeah,
right?
it's funky that that's the case. Although, I don't actually see their cameras.
I see
on
their
the stream
cameras.
itself.
Now.
There we go. Okay, they're loaded in now.
They're both in there, so.
Okay, and Fenrir is now talking. Looks like Chiampone has not reconnected yet. He says to drop him? Okay. Alright, so we'll go ahead and resume from replay.
Well, I just started, so yeah, not a big deal.
Yeah. Not really anything for anyone to scout there anyways, but we'll go ahead and resume from replay. Yeah, Swine Meeper is what Chiampone is known as in game. He didn't realize, I think, that he couldn't change his name for another season when he changed it. But it's a good name, you know. You're playing against Terran, Minesweeper, just with random letters mixed with each other. Why not?
Or Cattle Bruiser.
Yeah, Cattle Bruiser, you know, a classic. Oh, and I can confirm for those curious, the the random music that Chiampone has been singing is tempo songs. So shout out to Tempo.
We're gonna have to get Tempo to do a guest cast one of these days.
That would be awesome. Yeah. It was the what is it? Ladder like you don't even care. I think specifically was the song.
Nice.
Yeah, was listening to.
Well, Tempo is my boy. I'm sure I can get him to cast one of these. So. And he is part of Team Storm, so there you go.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. It's ladder like it doesn't even matter. Not whatever the heck I said.
Yes.
Yeah, big shout outs to Tempo. Makes some pretty awesome parody songs.
So
yeah, it's true.
It's really weird. It's just entering lobby. Maybe it's Battle.net that's acting up here.
Yeah, we've currently got me, Fenrir, and Seth in here. Let me see.
Yeah, I'm the one that can't get in. I'm gonna rejoin the Americas and see what happens.
Okay, it looks like Chiampone is restarting his game as well after that disconnect. Okay, we did send him an invite as well.
Wow, I can't get in the lobby at all.
Huh. I wonder if it bugged from the maybe we should remake the replay lobby really quick.
I think Seth, go ahead and remake that lobby. I'll rejoin. It's bugged out. Fenrir seems to be back now too, so I'm gonna rejoin.
Yeah, we were able to get both of them in that lobby, so it looks like they are good to go. We'll just have to remake the lobby and see if that fixes it. Battle.net underwent maintenance yesterday, I believe, because
they were out for like 5 to 7 hours. It was crazy long, and they didn't have any explanation on what they were working on.
Okay, all right, we are all in again.
What I'll do is I'll use a different account to get in. I think what might have happened is my account is
how
locked or something.
Is that going to mess up the recovery? Because I know it.
Well,
matches
if
the
you're
pool.
observing, it may be okay. Let's give it a try.
Could also try hosting the replay yourself. Sometimes if it won't let you join other people's lobbies, it still works if you host them.
Yeah, let me log on a different account and I'll invite you guys. Okay.
Alright.
Oh no, I don't have access to that replay because I'm using a different account. So I'll just join this one and see if that helps me. All right.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm entering the lobby again. I mean, of all people, I really need to be on there so we can show this because I'm doing the production. So
yeah,
that's the key, guys. We gotta get this. What battle is undergoing maintenance today? Are you sure?
I think it's not. I think that was yesterday.
That was yesterday, right? Oh man.
I know it happened yesterday. They might do it again today or something.
But everything was working fine, so I don't think they would. Yeah, I can't get in at all. You guys are all in, right? Correct?
Yeah, you may want to try. Did you restart your whole client or just log out?
I'm just gonna restart my whole client and get out. Let me try this again, boys and girls. Let's see what happens here. So hang tight while we're waiting. Let's you guys can chit chat about what's going on. I'm gonna restart this thing. As long as Battle.net's not out, that means we have a chance, guys.
Yeah, it looks like it is working generally. And can I just say, it is definitely the power of Fenrir that a game where both players proxied and all-in still went 15 minutes. So.
Yeah, that's insane.
Okay.
All right, you guys see me entering the lobby at all?
No, you're not showing up at all. Are you getting an invite, or are you like doing like join game?
I'm just clicking on his name to join like I usually do. So, I think let's do this. Why don't you guys stop that? I'm gonna try to host it and see if that works. Apologize, guys. We're running into some BattleNet issues. Let me see if I can host this game that we just finished, or that we just.
Yeah, just like two and a half years ago, somewhere in there, lobbies just became weird, and they've never fixed it ever. All right, looks like we have 2 in at least. We can invite our players. Okay, looks like it will work. Yeah, I've noticed that a lot. Where if you have issues joining too, a lot of times hosting it yourself can fix the issue. And it looks like that's done that here. We have everyone in, guys, so we'll be able to go ahead and resume.
All right, we're gonna go back 5 seconds before. Not that much happened. So that's the 119-minute mark. We're gonna reload the game. We're going back in there, guys.
You are watching
It's game
FSL
2.
Season 5.
Should be a short load. It's only a minute.
Yeah, one would think. All right, yeah, here we go. It's going pretty quick. All right. Okay. Oh, and it's kicked us right in. So here we go. We got our intros done already, but if you don't know, bottom right, Pone, top left, Fenrir. Just a quick reintroduction, I suppose. Okay, the players get right back into things. We got the Cybercore on the way, second depot, and that orbital command on the way as well. So typically we'd expect between a matchup of these two that cannot move screen. Oh boy. Oh, no. Can the ref tell him, try like do an alt-enter twice to like remove full screen and then go back to full screen? Sometimes that fixes it.
Might have alt-tab somehow and then it got stuck in a weird state. So we'll see.
And of course, with the way pauses work, there's no way to test if this has worked until you unpause.
Okay, he's ready.
Game resumed.
I'm on his camera, and it's not moving. Oh, never mind. He says good works. I don't know. Alrighty. Cybercore is finishing up, and a quick CC out of Fenrir, and a very fast... yeah, that's good. A tech lab as well on his first barracks, and we got an adept on the way. No second pylon. Pone.
Oh, no.
Oh, he's worried. And he's still not making that second pylon. He's gonna get... He already is supply blocked on his Nexus. But I wonder how long it's gonna take him to do something about that.
This is why builds are so important, you know? I think he's got a good understanding of what he wants to do, but you gotta be strict on your builds where you don't miss that second pylon, because now he's really put himself way behind.
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely very unfortunate for him here.
There's his multi-pylon. This is
A classic move out of him, really.
Exactly.
One for the ages. Still no tech coming down from either side, really. Mouse problems. Ah, okay. I guess actually we do have the classic double engineering bay rush out of Fenrir when he has approximately 0 fighting units.
He's gonna get his 3-3 super fast.
Yep. Pone gives his mouse problems. Anyways, we do have 1 Marine on the way, but that barracks, or bunker I should say, is quite late. And 1 Adept does beat 1 Marine, no matter how well it's microed. think it's 3 Marines is kind of the magic. With perfect micro, you can beat it, but that's not exactly what we're expecting to see here
He's
anyways.
right at the spot
Oh,
he
but
doesn't
the
want.
Adept. I mean, he should be able to block the Marins from getting to the bunker, maybe.
Oh
Nope.
man, this turned out the worst possible way considering he had an advantage there.
Yeah, and of course, as I talked about, with a little bit of a tunnel vision from Swine Meeper, Chiampone, 1,400 minerals and 600 gas being floated.
Oh my
He hasn't made it anything since he made his Adept.
Still
I think he made 2 probes past the Adept, and that's it.
Still
Granted,
nothing killed. Wow.
Yeah, he's just super focused on this Adept, which I hate to break it to him, but no matter how well you micro one Adept, it's not going to win you the game by itself. And even targeting the depots, unfortunately, means he's very low. Honestly, the sooner this dies, the better for him, because then maybe he'll do something at home.
That's a good point. Just die, please, so he can do other things and expand.
And now, please tell me he doesn't warp in one stalker and then micro it until it's dead as well.
Yeah. Look how much money he has. He can then make 4
gateways, and he's still floating over 1,500 minerals on one base. Does get a robo as well, which is good. Really needs to just make an expansion, though, for sure.
Yeah, you gotta get that expansion. There's double mules coming for Terra, and you are falling way behind, and there it is.
There we go. Is expanding, so this is good. And if we see a quick storm out of him, I mean, yes, he didn't macro, but Fenrir didn't exactly do much in the way of macro during that either. No stem pack. He is getting combat shields now and adding on his additional barracks with tech labs on each. He does have 1-1, but that's about all he's got going for him at the moment. He's slightly up in workers, but Chiampone with a much bigger bang, because I think he saturated his main base a good bit quicker than Fenrir. So we do have 4 warp gates now. Nexus a little over halfway done, and Robo Facility finishing up 3 more shield batteries on the way, for a total of 5 shield batteries. 1 per minute, really. We'll soon have that armory for Fenrir. I mean, this did delay the 2-2 of Fenrir quite significantly, I think. So that's a small victory for Chiampone, I suppose. Fenrir, though, has done a much better job of probing. This is something I've harped on a little bit, all the way up to like high Code A, is a lot of times, even some Code S players, they're like, well, my base isn't done yet. I don't need to go beyond the saturation of my 1 base and workers. Now, as soon as you drop an expansion, unless you can tell me why you're not, you should really be building workers the entire time it's building. You probably shouldn't have stopped at any point. I mean, that's something we're seeing out of Chiampone. He's still only on 23 workers, 1 for building and the rest on mining. And now he's queuing up 5 probes and chronoing them onto his natural base. If he'd been producing probes this whole time, he'd easily be on 40 at this point. And that would make him in a much better position than he is now as a result. It's funny, he talked about High Templar a lot, but in the first 2 games, the splash damage of choice has been Colossi.
I like Colossi.
I do, and I actually particularly like, if this was a purposeful thing, talking about, oh yeah, High Templar, her, and then going for a lot of Colossi. I think that's a very smart choice. Just trying to throw your opponent off a little bit. Fenrir, though, I did say he could adapt, and he's taking a 3rd base.
Yeah, very un-Fenrir-like over the months we've seen him.
That's got to be about 23 minutes faster than his average 3rd base in his previous series. So, pretty good out of him there. I do like that. That's a good adjustment. Very, very heavy Marine count, and by heavy, I mean every combat unit he has is a Marine. He has not made any tank.
With Marines, man.
Yeah, you can't beat Colossi with Marines. He does have 2-2 on the way. Chiampone could start 1-1 anytime, and that would be very helpful. Obviously, +1 on Colossi makes them do, I think it's just 1 extra damage, but that's to every unit that their swipe hits, and they have 2 swipes. So you can easily hit 10 Marines with both swipes. Well, not 10 Marines, probably 5 Marines. That's an extra 10 damage across those Marines from 1 upgrade. So the earlier he can get that +1, the better. He is chronoing out his Colossi, which I do like. And the big thing Fenrir's had over his opponents is the natural base choke. 3rd bases, generally in StarCraft, every base you take, it's going to have more and more angles for people to come in on, up until about 4 bases. At about 4 bases, they're all about equally open. Sometimes you'll have one that's a little bit more choked up. But generally speaking, every base you take gets progressively harder to defend. And Fenrir, his third base, you can see, you could get a very wide arc coming into the space, whereas the natural base, it's one ramp, it's barely bigger than the main base ramp, and tanks and bunkers up that is going to be so hard to break with any ground army. Now, that said...
Yeah, that's a good point, man. You know, the third base, you know, the previous games we've watched, they could not bust them at the choke. But this one is wide open, so this game is not going to be like the previous ones where...
Yeah, it's super wide open, and there's about to be 3 Colossi with +1 and Thermal Lance against still pure Marine with just a couple medevacs. Actually, he does have tanks, but I did not... Yeah, they're sitting in the main base. So unless those get pulled down in the near future... and the unfortunate thing here for Fenrir in particular is his tanks are rallied to a different spot from the rest of his production. I just checked. And so what that means is he's going to be looking at his natural base because that's where everything else is rallied, either to his natural or his third. So he might never move those tanks. And if those aren't in position, it's going to make that third base almost impossible to hold against 3 or 4 Colossi. That said, there is a drop, but it's only 8 Marines. They will have 2-2. Yeah, they do have 2-2. 3-3 already on the way. So classic Fenrir. We're going to be looking at like 12-minute 3-3. But just 8 Marines. Oh, but he moves out at the exact wrong time, does Fenrir. And warps into the natural base so he doesn't have warp-ins in the main. However, Fenrir, I think, has like a 5-second timer in his head, and then he picks up his drops and leaves. So,
you know what you can do as a defense against Fenrir? Move everything away, and then he'll just leave anyway, and just don't worry about it.
Yeah, and you just queue right back, and you're fine. You lost like 2 probes to the drop. It's definitely an option here, unfortunately. But, I mean, I think Blinkstalker Colossus beats the army that Fenrir is developing here, especially because he did make those 2 tanks, but that's been it so far. And he's still, I think he's still only on 3 barracks. Yeah, he could be easily on 5 to 8 barracks at this point, especially if he's just producing Marines. So he's got well under half the production he could maintain here. They will be super well upgraded, but 1-1 has finished that for Chi and Pone. And another side effect of that is he has to make a Twilight Council to make 2-2. So hopefully he makes Blink or Charge out of that, because those are very useful upgrades to have here as well, even for chasing down those medevac drops. Yeah, there's Charge, and he's looking at his forges. He didn't quite have enough money for 2-2 yet.
You know, he has an A-move army though here, I think. So
he does. I think his army is definitely far superior to that of Fenrir's, as we do have +2 shields and +2 weapons starting up. And Fenrir, I don't think is the type of person to hit a timing with 3-3. No Blink, but the Marines will likely leave before there's an opportunity for Blink anyways. Oh, no. A nice little force field, but I think he targets the Marines instead of the medevacs.
One more shot, and that thing would have been done. Maybe that's poking the bear. Maybe he'll just go.
Maybe. Did those tanks move to the low ground? They did, but they're not sieged up yet. Actually, they didn't. I'm sorry. He re-rallied, I think, some of the tanks, but now there's 2 tanks in his main base again. So he's still got 2 in his main base. He's just also got 2 in his his third base, I should say, and none of them are sieged up. So Chi and Pone goes, which I don't think he will. Yeah, I'm expecting a maxed out push from Chi and Pone, most likely. And that could be bad. But Fenrir also... When's the last time Fenrir made units, actually? I checked like a couple minutes ago, and he was at like 111 supply. He's just stopped making stuff. He's got 3-3. He's getting +2 on the tanks, but every minute that goes by, Chi and Pone is still making units, and he's catching up on that 3-3 upgrade. He's getting Blink now as well. And Fenrir's still not making anything. He's making a 4th base now, but he's got 7,000 minerals.
Wow. It's a lot.
There we go. 5 Marines now, so that helps. Okay, and more barracks.
There you go.
He's starting to realize, and I think he queued up a bunch of Marines in those barracks. He did. He queued them all to full capacity. I was like, he somehow dropped 2,000 minerals, and 5 Marines is not enough to do that. So he queued up like 20 Marines out of those 3 barracks. So that's good at least. But now he's supply blocked.
Yeah, and at Chi and Pone, you know, one thing he could do is, if he's worried about drops, just keep making cannon shield batteries in your base.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe he's also realized this whole thing about Fenrir, where it's like, you really only have to like run your units about 5 feet away, and then he will leave. The drop will go. I will say, Chi and Pone going into disruptors, I don't think that...
He was decent with disruptors when I saw him.
He was. I'm worried about tanks if they are sieged up, but other than that, I don't really see Fenrir dodging disruptor balls at all.
Shield batteries, man.
Holy cow. Yeah, well, that's going to be a defensive position, I guess. Maybe Chienpone is like, you know what? I'm not going to play Fenrir's game of making me attack into him. I'm going to make him attack into me. That may work out if that's what he's planning on doing. 3-3 now on the way, and this is what I was talking about. Fenrir's army, in terms of upgrades, has hit its peak, but Chienpone hasn't attacked yet. So Chienpone doesn't attack until his 3-3 is done. They're going to be even on upgrades, and at that point, the complexity of his army is so much better than that of Fenrir's. He's going to be in a really good spot. At the same time, though, he's still only on 4 gateways. He should really be on about 12 at this point, I want to say. Even though he is only on 3 base, 8 to 12 at least. But we do have a Templar Archive, so he's going to get into that storm as well. And against pure Marine, which it still is, 69 nice Marines, 4 tanks, and 10 medevacs. Well, that is not an army to beat Storm Colossus.
Here's some adepts. Maybe test out the waters. This is the first time he's going to see that there's a 3rd base. So.
This is good, and I'd really like to see a shade in onto the army just to see what all is there, but he might just run in and die. Okay, he sees that there's a big army here. Oh, if this causes Fenrir to push out, that'll be really bad for Fenrir. His army's, I don't think, in a winning comp at the moment, even with the 2 upgrade advantage.
You only have?
Okay, and he runs all the way home. Okay. What was I saying? Fenrir moving out. I think Fenrir only really moves out in a big way after he's won a fight. Or with like a fairly early push, like around like 100 supply. That's when we've seen him move out in the past. Now, he did queue up all his Marines. He jumped like 60 supply and is now right back to not making any units. So he's stagnant a little bit. There we go. 13 Marines at a time. But against +3 Colossi. And there's a 4th one on the way. I don't know about this one for Fenrir.
For Protoss, though.
That's true. He has not made Storm. So that's good for Fenrir. But again, there's just so much tanking for this army in front of these Colossi. And now with a 4th one being added in.
Still an A-move army, man, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. 3-3 is finishing up now. So the upgrades are not really going to benefit Fenrir from this point onward. And rushing the upgrades that early on. I mean, to be fair, he doesn't have armor upgrades, so that is nice.
All right, I think they're just going to have a gentleman's agreement to take all the bases.
I guess. This is what I was worried about, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, they don't know they don't really know, right, that they have the advantage, so they don't really poke and...
That's very true. And I mean, I'm sure Chienpone has seen time and time again what happens when people attack Fenrir. But at the same time, you got to see that 3rd base and be like, he's not playing as safe and defensive as he was in the past.
They're in the open now, so here.
Oh, Fenrir is catching him. I think Fenrir saw that move over to the 4th base by the army of Chienpone. Oh, he stemmed in. You've got to get your tanks up for this fight.
He doesn't know the Protoss.
The tanks are behind the army, next to the Protoss army. This is about as bad as it can be for Chienpone positioning-wise. And the tanks aren't sieged. Oh, holy schmoly. Oh, and this is a choke point and a half. The Colossi ripping through the army of Fenrir.
He doesn't even need
Marines trade decently. Oh my gosh. That was 80 Marines gone in about 10 seconds, and now it's even supply, but a lot of Fenrir's army supply is in medevacs and building Marines.
Okay, let's see if he pushes for the kill now.
I think he'll kill the 4th base at least, right, Chienpone? At the same time, though, this is the problem, right? He only has 4 gateways. His reinforcements are so weak compared to what they should be. We're going to see Chienpone attack the 4th base. Fenrir's SCVs are repairing, but I think they're going to get out DPS. A good little disruptor shot there. I like that a lot. But killing bases here isn't that important. Fenrir has 7,500 minerals and 3,200 gas, so just killing bases is not enough. Same time, though, only just now does a tank start up. There's 45 Marines, but there's 5 Colossus, one of which is at home.
Force field, too.
Yeah, even force fielding. Yeah, I think Chienpone has found the answer to Fenrir's macro, at least.
As long as he doesn't go home for this one little drop. I think
yeah, he does have... He has a Colossus at home that could defend that. It's just chilling in the natural base. But even if he pulls home, I mean, Fenrir just doesn't have that much production. And he lost his expansions. We'll see what happens here. He does have Blink. There's only 1 tank. On those Marines, they're not even stimming. They're just queuing into death. And yeah, I think we're going to see Chiampone just push through and kill him here. He's trying to warp in at home to defend a little bit with Stalkers, but 8 Marines, I hate to break it to you, but they're not going to beat 4 Colossi and 10 Stalkers in a base trade. Oh, and okay, GG is called by
GG,
Fenrir.
he means it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He does. Yeah, Chiampone with the win there, 1-1.
Man, I thought Fenrir was about to pull a really cool move of, I thought he was going to siege the tanks on the high ground above that 4th base and then force the Colossi into the siege tanks, but instead he went for the 3rd base and left the tanks behind.
No, he didn't see. He just assumed, and it was fortunate for the Protoss there to go behind the tanks.
Yeah, that definitely helped a lot. I think he still wins the fight, but it's a lot closer there, and Fenrir might have been able to hold the counter.
Well, game 3 is going to be on Glittering Ashes, which it's about the same size as Hardwire, I think.
It's pretty funny to see Fenrir out Cheese and Pone, and Chi and Pone out Macro Fenrir, though. Got a little bit of a culture swap. All right, here we go. Game 3 of our final series.
You are watching FSL Season 5.
A little bit of a long load, but that's to be expected with these boys and their internet. Here we are in Glittering Ashes LE in the bottom left-hand side. Pulling his SCVs, we have... And his opponent in the top right, the blue Protoss, getting worker rushed. It is.
Chiampone.
You know, I like this for Fenrir because we've seen Chiampone get really tilted. After a win, he's feeling pretty good, and this may tilt him unless he wins.
That's true, but this is not how you want to do a worker rush. You want to get those 15 SCVs out and then go. As it is, it's going to be 14, 15 probes against 12 SCVs. He is building some at home, but...
Who knows how to, do they know how to, we call that mineral walk and do all that?
Mineral stack, whoever does that wins. Oh, but
Yes.
half of Fenrir's army isn't even here. This is terrible for Fenrir thus far. Half of his army gets almost obliterated before the rest of it's even there. Army, what am I saying? Half of his SCVs, and this is just a hard win for Chiampone. Fenrir, he tried it. GG is called.
Oh my goodness. Well,
mad props for trying that. That is awesome.
Not a whole lot of reaction from either of them. It's just funny.
That is hilarious, dude.
Yeah, we go from a super long game to a pretty short one right there.
Now, I will say, I think that move there, just the way Fenrir has played this series so far, if he was serious in his pre-interview about his opinion of himself as not being a very good player, that's really going to hurt his mindset even more. You lose the style you're best at, and then you even lose the cheese and everything like that. So hopefully he stays calm.
Yeah, Slows is correct. It's the shortest game, fastest game win in FSL history, right? 1 minute and 15 seconds.
Yeah.
It's a new record, guys.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I mean, props to Fenrir. That's just even being willing to go, okay, game 3, I lost a game. I'm going to work a rush. That's pretty great. I like that a lot. I think it was unfortunate because I don't think he meant for half of his SCVs to attack that gateway. I think he just A-moved, and about half of them were close enough to aggro on that. And without that, he didn't... I mean, I don't think Chiampone had the quickest reaction. And we saw Fenrir was doing a little bit of mineral stacking. So if he'd had that and had his whole SCV bank there, he might have been able to pull that out.
So if you're Fenrir here, you're down to your last life. You lost the last 2 games. You're kind of desperate in the last game, or at least didn't feel it, right? Those 2 have gone wrong. I think he's the one that might be tilting, man.
Yeah, I think maybe.
This next game could result in the Code B champion.
It could. And, they're playing for a good amount of cash money moolah thanks to our Patreon sponsors. It's all the way up to $45 for first place. So it's an extra $25 over
It's true.
whoever loses. But at the same time, I imagine being, 13 years old and 11 years old and winning any money playing a video game is probably a pretty good feeling anyways. So
it is.
Hopefully, whoever loses won't feel too upset about it.
Did you ever win any money competing in SC2?
Well, you should know it was at your cup.
Well, I don't remember everyone who's won.
Yeah, no. I got, I did break through the Psystorm Cup once. Then I've got a couple prize pools in all my tournaments. Yeah.
Nice. I played a local one, and the first $35 I made, I was like, wow, I made money.
Right?
This
Top of the
great.
world.
That's right. I think I made like $30 or something. I don't know, but it was great. I was like, this is awesome, man.
Okay, there we go. Looks like he's back online. I think his game had to restart after that one. 13-9? Oh, right. You know what? Close enough, dude. I cannot be expected to know all my siblings' ages at this point. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 9 is really young, so that's him and Little Reaper are new blood.
Yeah?
The new blood, guys.
Yeah, and it looks like we're just about ready to go through players. It's going to be Pride of Altaris, which is a bit of a funky map for game number 4. We'll see if Lance or Chian pulls this out. His real name is not Lance, by the way. That's his like Blizzard ID. I think it was making fun of me, actually, one of my email addresses I have. But anyways, if he wins this one, then he'll have gotten a 3-1 in both series today. How old are you? Are you sure you want me to say?
Oh, she did put the kappa. And, I think you're old enough to know that you never answered that question.
Yeah, it's true. Older than me, by a little bit. We'll go there.
Could be the last game coming up, guys.
Here we go.
You are watching FSL Season 5.
Who advances to fight Cyan here?
That's right.
All right, bottom right-hand side of the map, we've got the green Terran player. He tried the SCV rush, and it didn't quite work out. He is
Fenrir.
And his opponent, he's in the upper left, but we need a pause, maybe? Fenrir's sound not working? He is.
Chin Pong.
I thought his sound was never really working, right? He said, whatever, I'll play without sound.
He was playing with sound going through his actual laptop speakers, I think, just instead of through his headset. But he did have audio. But we'll see if he asked for a pause or not.
Yeah.
But anyways, both players at home, but we do have a quick SCV out of Fenrir across the map, hiding underneath that natural base.
Proxy Reaper?
Yeah, I think so.
Well,
maybe
no
Marines? But yeah, there's no gas, so maybe Marines. A little less committed than Game 1's build. Doesn't quite have the money in his main base to drop that other barracks. It looks like he wants to drop. Oh no, it is a gas. Okay.
Yeah, he just forgot.
Okay. And I like this out of Fenrir. This is clearly, a build that this is played all the way up to the pro level. Proxy Reaper. It's good for getting guaranteed really scouting information, forcing out a little bit quicker of a unit from the Protoss, or getting damage if they don't. And it's good to see, even at this level, you want to start trying to get some builds from the pro level, even the simpler ones, and start incorporating them. But actually,
queue up.
I spoke too soon. It's going to be 3 racks. I think that one SC is going to build one of those, and then the one that's building the first one will build the last one. Indeed, that is the case. I'd like to see an orbital here, as he does have the money, and maybe that second gas if he's planning on making all Reapers. Oh no, it's going to be Proxy 3 Rex with a whole lot of Marines. Did we have a scout? I don't think we had a scout out of Chienpone. We did not. So no scout, but 4 pylons, and Chienpone has made double shield battery blind in his macro games thus far. And by macro games, I mean macro game, I guess, since there was only one.
That's true. If he makes it, he's in good shape. But he needs
Yeah.
to make
And he's not making it, it looks like. He's floating 500 minerals. No unit, though. But at the same time, Fenrir is doing this pretty slow. I don't think he actually can produce off of 4 barracks with reactors. Okay, he does cancel one of them. Wait.
What?
Wait.
He changed his mind. He's like, this is not gonna work. Oh no.
Did he like... He didn't scout the nat. I was thinking maybe he scouted into the natural, so he has no base and doesn't want to keep going. I think if he kept going, he had a chance there, because
he had a great chance.
Chienpone's really not doing anything. He's not scouting. He's on 15 probes. What is Chienpone doing?
Oh my goodness. He's like, alright, I'm gonna macro instead.
What is Chienpone doing? I'm very confused at this point. He's made like 6 pylons and no units and warp gate.
Well, you gotta remember, this game is bonus game for them. They're usually used to a best of 3. So by the
That's
fourth
true.
game,
He doesn't have any builds left. He's like, this is, I had it, everything's on the table at this
I'm
point.
tired. He's like, I'm tired. I don't know what to do.
I do wonder if maybe this is his way of being magnanimous. And he's just kind of purposefully not doing anything so they can get to a game 5. I will say, Chienpone is a little bit of a demon IRL, but he's also like a major sweetheart, so he might not want to like beat his brother 3-1. So maybe he's like, I'm gonna let him have this game. That's my only guess, because he's just not.
Well,
he's not playing.
The problem though, is Chienpone is winning 2-1, and Fenrir could have tied it up right there. So.
Well, right, but I'm saying Fenrir doesn't know that Chienpone's not playing. I'm saying I think Chienpone is possibly just go and have the game. That's what I'm saying. Not Fenrir.
Oh,
Chienpone.
I see.
He's the one who's like got a heart of gold deep down, and I think he might be trying to. Maybe he's confident enough to win game 5, so he's like, let's make it 2-3, so it's close. I don't know. That's my only guess, because this isn't a build.
Anything. He's just scouting with this. And he's not making anything at home.
Yeah, I think that's got to be what it is, because, I mean, he's not doing anything. He's shooting rocks.
Well, we're going to go to, if this keeps going, I think huge advantage for Fenrir, and we should get to a quick game.
Yeah, for sure.
The way we expected, because, I think making...
the crazy thing here is if Fenrir just committed, this game would have been over by now.
Yep.
He floated home.
Oh.
I do wonder. Hey, never mind. Chienpone just knew this was happening, so he's breaking the rocks down. He's going to be right there.
Yeah,
that's definitely what's going on.
These guys have played each other, so maybe they just know. Like, okay, I know what you're
He's making pure sentries, though. Yeah, I think this is I think he's trying to give. I think he's as they said in chat. I think he's a bleeding heart trying to even up the score for his bro.
Yeah, we wouldn't see this with Dark Menace free and Neutrophil. I'll tell you that.
Chienpone's the kid who like gets the big bag of candy on Halloween, and then goes around to everyone in the house, making sure everyone have some candy, have some candy, have some candy. And then a week, like a day later, he's got nothing left, and he's like depressed about it. I'm like, well, it's because you gave everyone else candy.
Yes.
But he's very nice. He's very magnanimous about that. So I think this is just similar to that. That's what we're seeing here. Now he's making gateways now. I guess he's like, well, I guess he's not going to kill me.
Well, here's the thing. He was... you're right about the brotherhood thing, but when he was up 2-1, he went for the kill, for the throat with Kitty Cat. So maybe that's just, an in-house thing.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's definitely the case here. I'm a little surprised, though. That's a lot of confidence to say I can win game 5, so I don't even care about this one. But yeah, as said in chat, the problem with this is Bender's the type of player where if you give him a free game, it's going to take him 40 minutes to find that out because he's just never going to come across the map until he's maxed out with 3-3 buyout. So we're a ways away. Oh, he's making stalkers now. He's finally breaking these rocks down.
I've never seen rocks
after
get broken by
shooting them for
sentries
like,
ever.
it's like 3 or 4 minutes of just sentry tickles.
Okay, well, here he goes. Gonna run right into this planetary.
He's gonna maybe dodge the planetary. Okay. Oh man. What is happening here? Oh my goodness. This is... My apologies, folks. I think we're all going to have gray hair by the time this is over. And for some of us, that'll be more of a leap than others, but what can we do?
So, what do you think he's gonna do in this game?
I think he's just going to keep making a pittance of units. He's going to mine out of his main base. May or may not even take his natural. I think he's really just waiting for Fenrir to come and kill him.
Yeah, he chose
honestly.
the wrong person to go kill him. Cause
Yeah. It's just going to take a while. Especially after game 2. I mean, Fenrir, even when he's maxed out, he's going to be like, well, last time I moved out, I got absolutely annihilated. So he may just not move out even then. I think it's nap time, viewers. I think everyone can just shut your eyes and I'll scream at you whenever something happens and wake you up.
Well, he made the challenge here is, will this SCV die?
Yeah.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, here goes. Fenrir.
Mass hallucination, maybe?
He's giving it to you on the
Oh,
silver
okay, he's gonna
platter.
kill this army. He's gonna kill the army, and then I think we're gonna force field at the same spot 3 times. That works. Okay, we're gonna see a tap out now. I think we're gonna see a tap out now. Oh, no? Okay. It's gonna make him come and kill him. Oh, man. Okay, Fenrir's moving out. This should be a kill here. Pretty easily. Okay, we do have an expansion out of Gian Bone. Oh my word. Funnily enough, this game has lasted less time than game 1, which was a double all-in, so...
Yeah.
And it may not even take that long. It was about 15 minutes for that game, and we're seeing Fenrir go for what should be the killing blow with 2-2 and some tanks and marauders. And it's only 10:30, so not bad.
Well, we're gonna get a game 5.
You know, and I know a lot of you viewers after Series 1, yeah, GG, well played. I know a lot of you viewers after the first series of the night were like, hey, we got done in less than an hour. Maybe it won't be such a late night. Look at
Not
you
this time.
now. You fool! How could you
Okay.
think that?
The last game is Blackburn, people.
Yeah, Blackburn, a weird map. Man, now I will say, it's nice and all to, you know, give a free one to your brother and all, but what if you lose the final game now, too? How's that gonna feel, you know?
Yeah, and if you do this in Korea, they'll put you in jail.
This is called match fixing.
Yes.
And there's a guy named, it rhymes with wife, and you'll end up like him.
Yeah, Yoda and Life are the 2 that got caught, right?
Yeah, I think there were a few others, but they were like the big names that got caught.
Yeah.
I think I heard that there was a bit of a scandal in SC1 at one point as well. That was even longer ago. But yeah, so can't quite do that in
Alrighty.
Korea.
Well,
But
here
these
you
guys
go.
are a couple steps away from competing in Korea, so they should be fine.
The final game, guys.
You are watching FSL Season 5.
All right.
I love this map. I think it's fun to watch.
It's a fun map. All right, but anyways, bottom left, we got the blue Protoss player. It's 2-2, and he is
Chin Po.
And his opponent in the bottom right, the green Terran, he is
Fenrir.
Alright, let's see if Champone pays for that move.
his hubris.
Yeah.
We will see. There's no proxy barracks. Doesn't look like any proxy gateway. But I will say, comparatively to, yes, Champone beat Fenrir while Fenrir was macroing, but that was on the smallest map in the pool. With third base and everything's pretty wide open. I think Blackburn, for the Terran, that third base is a lot more defensible. So, just because you beat him there, the map can make a difference. And if Fenrir just like makes 10 tanks instead of 4 tanks, I think he wins. And if he makes any amount of Marauders instead of Marines, I think he wins as well. So there's a lot that could be adjusted that could cause him to not be able to out macro Fenrir. So we'll see. We'll see what they manage to pull out here. Made the gas, not mining out of it. Classic move for Chianpone there. So we do have a second barrack coming down for Fenrir. At the same time, though, Fenrir might expect some aggression on this map that won't be coming because Blackburn is a little bit of a weird map. So he may play a little bit extra safe. Never mind. He's got double engineering bay. He knows what's up.
That's a sign. That's your tell that he won't move out for a while.
Yep. It tells you a couple things. One, yeah, he's not going to move out. And two, Chianpone could probably win this game if he just chronoed 2 stalkers and sent them across the map.
That's right.
But I don't think he's going to do that. I mean, we saw how much damage potential that Adept had in Game 2. He didn't wind up getting it, and his macro really slipped because of it. But if he makes just a couple stalkers, although his gas, he didn't start mining it until so late, he can't make stalkers at the moment. But stalkers would have a ton of potential here against, double engineering bay. It's a cool strategy at this level, guys. It is. But let's not get it twisted as a hidden gold base. I do like that. Double eBay is this early on in the game is so incredibly greedy that if your opponent does any sort of competent pressure, you are going to die really hard. And the only reason he doesn't die is because most of his opponents are also in Code B. In Code A, this would not really stand up to the test of macro.
Yeah.
And he is making a couple stalkers, so if those goes across the map, they could get some good damage. And I do like the bunker kind of protecting the fake natural here for Fenrir. I think that's a good choice. So we do have a quick robo coming down for Chianpone, who is going 1 base. And we'll say, I think the 1 base might actually work out pretty well here. The gold base, there's less to push through to get to the production of your opponent for Chianpone. There's only, the 1 base instead of the second. Oh, never mind. He's taking the 3rd. Okay, this is so greedy. Double eBay and 3 CC by 3.5 minutes into the game. If Chianpone has decent macro and just makes a good amount of units, an Immortal and a Prism, he should just win this game super easily, as there's only 4 Marines out right now.
Yeah, if he just loads them up, goes in the main base with the Prism, a la Little Reaper.
Oh, and he might even just make DTs. He's got Robo Twilight, and now he's pushing down to take an expansion. He might DT this as well.
Yeah.
He has been known to do DT drops in the past. We'll see. Bases are finishing up for Fenrir. He should have a good number of scans with 3 CC if he makes them into orbitals, but the Command Center of the Gold is not being morphed into anything just yet.
No DT.
And no DTs? But also nothing else out of this building, so it might still be DT. He does not have enough gas until just now to make a tech building. Okay, no, he makes a robot facility. I think that's good as well, overall. If this gold base goes untouched, though, it'll put Fenrir in a pretty good position. At the same time, though, KJ, Fenrir had 10,000 minerals at one point in Game 2.
Yeah,
and he had a massive bank when he lost. So money doesn't make that much of a difference here. And because he did take that natural, I mean, even if Chien Pone scouts, he's not going to be like, oh, it's 1 base, and panic. There's a base there. He's going to be like, oh, it's 2 base, and Fenrir just macros on 2 base. So he's not really going to overreact either. So I'm not sure this gold base is going to accomplish much of anything for him at this point. Now, Chien Pone pushing across. If he had a Prism and an Immortal, he could break this pretty easily. You have the force fields available, which are very helpful against SCBs. It would be a fairly easy break. Doesn't look like he's going to go for it, though. He is making charge, though, and a Colossus. And the way Chien Pone has been consistently he's been moving his units out and then pulling them back, moving out and pulling them back. He didn't do this in Game 2. He kind of just sat him on his natural ramp until he took a 3rd and a 4th, and then he moved out to defend those. With the way he's pushing out, it seems to indicate that he's a little bit antsy to do some damage. So he might actually push with like 1 or 2 Colossi. Maybe not, but if he does do that, that would put him in a pretty strong position, I'd say.
We'll see. We can't really tell, right?
Yeah, not yet, for sure. And he needs to add on 2 or 3 more gateways, I'd say. Make more zealots. But we'll see. Again, though, look at Fenrir. He's so hyper-focused on starting his 2-2, and he's low on gas because he only has 2 gases at the moment, fully mining. For quite a while there, he was just selecting his E-base for like a good 10 to 15 seconds and just staring at them, but he didn't have the money to start 2-2. So he looks away, he makes another SCV, and now he started 2-2. But this army, I mean, it's what? 9 Marines in a bunker against 7 Stalkers, a Colossus, and 4 Zealots, which do have charge. And he doesn't have his SCVs there ready to repair. Oh, he even Guardian Shields.
Ooh, I
You
like the
micro god. Holy cow. Yeah, I mean, this is just a bust.
Yeah.
And Chien Pone, he had the confidence in Game 4 to be like, I'll just give you a freebie and I'll still win this. Which is very nice of him overall, but he better not say anything about it in the interviews. Here we go. And that is GG. Chien Pone takes it 3-2-2. Seth, lead us away.
Good games, gentlemen. Congratulations, Chien Pone. Fenrir, goes a nice run. So tell us about that last game, the strategy there. You got really greedy. What was the plan there?
Wow. It's a risk. I don't know if he knows he's greedy or not. Oh, I don't think he can hear us.
Can you hear us, Fenrir?
I don't think he can.
Well, maybe you can come
you
over.
maybe want to
Just
have him hop over into your headset, Chien.
Yeah, why don't you guys just go over there?
Okay.
Oh, I was. Oh, sorry. What are you?
Oh. Okay, sorry.
Oh, you can hear us, Fenrir?
I can hear you.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
I thought I was muted, so I didn't reply.
No
Turns out I
worries.
have myself muted.
No worries. The question, just to restate, is you did take the gold and also a base, so it can be seen as greedy. It's a big risk. Why did you do that?
I don't know why I did it.
Just feeling it.
Turns out it just screwed me because I forgot to make any units, so I lost.
Got it. ET,
I
got
did it
any
on
questions?
impulse.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see. Game 1 obviously went quite well for you with the proxy barracks versus the gateways. Did you feel pretty confident with the damage you got in the early game that you'd be able to close it out from there?
I just wasn't sure. I was unsure this whole thing, and I guess that indecisiveness led to me losing.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. And yeah, I guess game 4, you did end up winning it, but you did decide to pull back your proxy barracks. Was there something you saw, or just kind of a sense you felt that, like, I don't think this is going to work? What caused you to fly those back?
I decided it was way too late.
Oh,
I don't know if it was,
that
but it
makes
seemed
sense.
like I was taking forever.
Yeah.
Right. It
he's
did take
actually
a good
right,
while.
Yeah, he's actually right there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, well, yeah, that's a smart decision there, and you did end up winning the game. A good quick gold there as well with that planetary to protect, and yeah, I think pretty well played overall. And I mean, you still secured yourself second place in the Code B, so very well played. And obviously, you did have that 4-0, I believe it was, record in the group stage. So well done. Congratulations on the money, and we'll look forward to hopefully seeing you next season.
Yeah, congrats. You won some cash, as you can see right here. And we'll see you more.
Yep. Yeah, congratulations. It'll be $20 to Fenrir and at least $45 to our Code B champion, Champone. Congratulations. How do you feel?
Pretty good. I thought that in the game, was it, that Mass Sentry would be okay, so I could like block off half of his army, and so I only had to fight like a bit of his army, and so I could also use Guardian Shield. But yeah, I guess it didn't work. I accidentally didn't use the force fields well enough.
Gotcha. How do you feel about your run here in Code B, and what do you think your chances are now going up to the Code A bracket?
I don't know. I think the only person I have a chance against is like, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't think I have a chance against anybody.
Well, you had an idea. Did you have an idea who you might have a chance with?
Well, I mean,
Were you
maybe
gonna say
Could be
any
show
Terrans.
match. A Terran?
Maybe any Terrans. I mean, I like disruptors, and Colossi, but
There you go.
hey.
Terran. Show match.
All right. Well, we look forward to your game. It's gonna be next Friday.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be against Cyan, and you can start preparing. This is gonna
Protoss.
be a Protoss versus Protoss. So your Protoss coach Instability can help you out and prepare for that game. So good luck. Any final questions, KJ, ET?
No, I think that's...
Yeah, I don't have any questions. It was very interesting to watch you two play, given you know each other. So thanks for playing tonight.
Yeah, well done, Chi and Pona. Congratulations. Good job winning both series tonight. That was very well done. So strong results.
And both of you guys came home with cash. So we'll see you guys in a bit. Well, next week.
Next Friday for Champone. So looking forward to that.
All right.
And hopefully next season we'll see Fenrir more. Maybe he can refine some of those builds and see him improve some more. So.
All right. That'll
So
do.
yeah,
Thanks, guys.
that'll do it.
Appreciate it. Hanging
Yeah.
out.
So the issue, I mean, ET brought it up in one of the casts. We'd like to see more players in Code B. The problem we have in Code B is either you're in Code B this season or one season, and the next season that you improve so much that you move on to Code A, or you're in Code B because you're not as really interested in the game, and that's where you drop off. So that's why we have so much turnover in Code B. And all those, anybody who wants to play like Code B, make sure you sign up and see how it goes. And then before you know it, you'll be like Champone, winning the Code B and then moving on to Code A right away. So we look forward to that. But good set of games tonight. We're gonna be having our 2v2 playoffs on Wednesday.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
On the 11th, we're gonna be playing Kodeo versus Tortoise and Hare and GG Izzy in the Pure Fire. So it's gonna be the semis for the 2v2 pairs there. That's gonna be pretty exciting. All four of those have a legit chance to win and go all the way.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, thanks, Champone.
Thank you guys.
Look, we'll see you next week. But yeah, so we have 2v2, and then after that, next Friday, we'll have Champon and Cyan, and then the opening match for Code S, which is Neutrophil and Sir Maligan.
All right.
So all of that's gonna be next week. It's gonna be pretty exciting. So
Yeah, ET. Any final thoughts about tonight's matches?
It was pretty intense. I mean, especially for Code B, there was a lot of action. You know, a lot of times in the group stages, we did see a little bit more sit back, and just max out and move in. So it was good to see the players getting a little bit more back and forth. A lot of aggression on both sides. Kitty Cat Gamer in particular, I was impressed. You know, throwing in a lot of those lane backstabs and things. Didn't quite work out for her, but it was good to see that improvement. So pretty epic overall. I'm looking forward to the 2v2s.
And so, Seth, 2v2s will be a lot of fun. That might go really fast. The 2v2s go really fast. And
yeah,
so what's
it
on
could.
our schedule on that?
Yeah, so it's gonna be the 2v2 games on Wednesday. Both of them are gonna be played, so best of 5. So it's either we have a quick 3-0 on both and it'll be a quick night, or it could be a bloodbath. It could go 5 games on each side, and that could be a long game. So we don't know, but we're gonna try to schedule 2 matches per evening with the, with the thought of maybe it'll go all 5 games just in case. Because as we go up in level here, we're gonna start seeing more refined snipe builds against your opponents that you probably wouldn't do in the regular season. And that's what it's going to be really interesting, right? Because in the history, we've seen all of these well-prepared builds to really counter your opponents, because this is the playoffs. Once you reveal it, once you knock your opponent out, that's it. He's done, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to see that now. Let's see what Champon can prepare against Cyan. Cyan's been watching this, studying.
That's gonna be something right there, because
Yeah.
if he
But
pulls
then-
that upset, that'll be amazing.
But then we'll see that same night, it's gonna be Neutrophil and Sir Maligan.
Oh
right?
yeah.
And so I'm pretty sure Sir Maligan is really gonna prepare certain builds here for Neutrophil, and vice versa. So it's gonna be really, really cool to see how this all turns out. So we're just gonna ramp up here more and more as the weeks go on.
Yep. Okay. Well, that'll do it for tonight, guys. We'll see you on Wednesday for the matches as scheduled. And once again, the prize pool has increased thanks to our generous Patreons. And we had a 5th one tonight, so we'll add that person to the screen as shown here. So that'll do it for me. It was a great playoff night to open the postseason. We'll see you all later.
GG's.
GG's.